Smear campaign against Candace is fake, and I can prove it to you. This was so easy to debunk. This is an email that allegedly was going out to larger creators in order to get them to smear Candace and defend Erica Kirk. I had somebody send me all the information, and I cannot believe that this is circulating all over the internet and people are believing this is true. So Australia First Only was one of the first big accounts on X that was sharing this all over the place as though it was real. This account has been told several times in the comments of this post that this wasn't real. And where did this account get it? This is where this little fake message originated. Cognitive ETH says, well, if they all received the same email with marching orders, it would look something like this. Per AI. So this account made this fake email so that they could give an example of what that would look like if that was happening. And then that other large account ran with it. What really gets me is that Australia First Only didn't care when several people were commenting that this was a fake email. It's from Grok. Mine is better. Blessed Mom says, why are you reposting something that someone literally created through AI and posted in a comment on your page? And shows exactly how that went down. I guess Australia First Only doesn't really care about having any sort of integrity and really just wants the clicks and views.
Wow, that's crazy. Sorry. Sorry, damn it. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry about that. I want to apologize, everybody. I was trying to help Joe get his computer working again. His cameras and stuff were all jacked up and stuff. So I was on a phone with him and everything. And Pat says, after 5 times through, I find Jim's intro annoying. It didn't play through 5 times. It played through twice. Okay, 2 times. It's a 2-minute intro. Did you get Joe bailed out? I think so. I think maybe his monitor, I don't know how old his monitor is because he said he has like some kind of converter to convert from VGA to HDMI or something. So I don't know. His camera fell on it again. I don't know. I was able to get his camera working again because, basically with the new digital cameras, if they get all wonky like that, you got to shut them all down, disconnect everything, repower them up, let them cycle through and realign everything inside. Because even though it's a digital camera, there's still mirrors inside that get out of whack if it falls. So, hey, everybody, how's it going? My name's Jim, and I'm here to tell you some news. So, let's see who's here tonight. Wow, SB Farmer was first. It says hello with a wave there. That's great. And Sunshine's here. Hi, Jim. Just checking in to see when you're coming on. See you in a bit. Yes. I guess Jim will be late. Joe has a problem with one of his monitors. He has a problem with one of his monitors. He has a problem with his camera. He's got a lot of problems. You're not abandoned. I would never abandon you, Miss Hacker. What's up, Jet? How's it going tonight? Snarf, hey, how you doing? I'm coming. I was trying to help Joe. Snarf says 8, whatever. The guy Joe has on is so annoying. Really? You think so? I mean, I don't know. I think he's kind of funny sometimes. He can be funny. I don't know. Margie, what's up, Margie? Hi, how you doing? The monitor has no signs of light, no on indicator light. Well, that's what I said. I said maybe some kind of fuse. I was trying to tell him it's possible, depending on how old the monitor is. Like I don't know if it's a newer monitor, old monitor, whatever, but it could have like some kind of fuse that popped or something that needs to reset. If it thinks there was a problem, it'll shut down and go into safe mode. So it could be that. Michelle says she agrees with that. So, hey, Lisa, what's up? Great to see you. Life is a difference here, too. How you doing? Sunshine, great. Did I get Joe bailed out? I tried, Dan. I tried. Thanks for being here, Dan. Ads up. I will fix that right now. Sorry. See what happens when I get everything all jerky messed up and I don't have everything together. And I don't even have I had to get a drink at the last minute because I didn't have a drink ready to go because I was on the phone with Joe. So I apologize. I apologize to everybody. I will make it up to you with awesome stories. Awesome stories of things happening around the world, as they say. So yes, as the world turns, my name is Jim, and I'm here to tell you some news. What's up, Kevin? News. Kevin, what's up? Great to see you. So anyway, the show is going to be about 2 hours long, 2 hours, 2.5, somewhere around there. Unless, of course, we hit the goal, and the goal is for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube Super Chats, Rumble Rants, PayPal and Cash App, and Ko-Fi stuff, Super Tips. Last night we had our first ever coffee donation. That was very nice. Also, is Bella on standby? Yes, Bella is here, ready to party and show up. There she is. Let me fix her camera. Yeah, so as an added bonus, if we hit 100, that could be, anything, becoming a member, gifted memberships, all that. But as an added bonus, when we hit 50, we activate BellaVision for the evening. Unless somebody is so generous that they donate $25 or greater as an individual donation, and that could be like, a super tip, Cash App, PayPal, or gifting 5 memberships on Rumble or YouTube will automatically give you BellaVision for the evening. So there she is. Yeah, she's on. Bella's not on standby. Bella's on lay-by. What's that called? Layover, lay-by, rant. Let's see who's got a rant here. All right. There we go. There we go. So Life is Indifferent says, gotta have Bella now. So I guess Bella's just here to stay. So thank you. Thank you, Life is Indifferent. That is Life Indifferent. Thank you. Layaway. That's it. On layaway. I was trying to think, what do they call it on the airlines when you're like, when you're flying on standby. So I guess that is on standby when you're waiting. Bella's waiting in the wings. Yes, she is. But she's here now. And she's not going anywhere. I should get something. I don't know why that won't let me put any type of notification on the second camera. Like, it doesn't give me the option to put a name or anything. Like, it should say Bella. Like, it should be able to edit name. Extra camera name. Bella. Uh-huh. Why won't it let me, Bellicane? Why won't it let it say that up there, though? That's messed up. Anyway, but thank you so much. Joe's health kit monitor bit the dust. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Thank you. Thanks, life is different. Yeah, on deck. Yeah. I don't know what a health kit monitor is. Heath kit monitor. I don't know what that is. The big hairy, but thanks for being here. Please remember, if you haven't already, to hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Joe's boomering computers right now. Yes, he is. So, anyway, so yeah, let me fix the banner. So that means we are $75 away from the first extra hour of the show. Thank you all so much. Yes. And then let's get into the first news story. What do we say? It's been, we've been going 10 minutes. And I didn't even talk about the news yet. So let's see. What's this say? Breitbart, start the fight against Google, whatever that means. I don't know. Yeah, I had a massive problem. Like, I was trying to do stuff earlier today. YouTube had something going on where I couldn't make any comments on my own videos or anything. I couldn't do anything. And I was trying to get the stream set up, and I was trying to pin the chat, and it wouldn't let me chat on my own channel. It was all jacked up. So, yeah, according to CNN polls, 64% of the State of the Union viewers say that Trump's policies will move the U.S. in the right direction. Wow. But, you know, this is the story, and then I'm gonna have a little bit. Heath Health Kit was a tech firm in the 70s. Wow. Okay. Yeah, trust bust Google. That's what I say. Well, I don't know. That's before my time. But let me, we're going to go through this, but then after we're done with this story right here about this poll, then we're going to show you how the Marxist commie media is trying to spin this poll to make Trump seem bad. Yeah. You know, all these people trying to say stuff. So let's see here. So. President Trump delivered his first State of the Union address since his triumphant return in the 2024 presidential election on Tuesday night. And television viewers liked what they saw. We all liked it. We watched some of it. We saw the clips, right? You guys watched it with Joe or with Bronca or somebody, right? You thought it was great, or with Ricada watched it too. A CNN instant poll taken in the immediate aftermath confirmed the fact, with some 64% of those polled affirming Trump is moving the country in the right direction. Didn't Health Kit become a Radio Shack? Radio Shack was around in the 50s and 60s, I'm pretty sure, selling radio parts. They were around for quite a while. I mean, I know I saw, like old ads from like the 60s for build your own radio for Radio Shack. Like, I didn't see them myself, but I saw old ads, unless it was made up. Tandy, Health Kit became Tandy, which Radio Shack bought Tandy, I believe. Free speech, only 54% of watchers said he was moving the country in the right direction. The result confounded critics who CNN's own Abby Phillips sneered at the president. She called Trump bestowing the Presidential Medal of Freedom, 2 Medals of Honor, and 2 Purple Hearts, and a Legion of Merit game show type moments. He had to do because other messages are a hard pill for Americans to swallow. Clearly, viewers felt otherwise. Like, the American people want the government to put Americans first, American citizens. Like, if they don't think that's what's important, I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems pretty obvious that the American people want America to be first, especially, like, maybe not America first per se, because that has some, like, they might not like that terminology, but, the American people want themselves to be put first. We saw that woman the other day that was very upset about stuff. In all, Trump broke his own record for the president's longest ever State of the Union speech at 108 minutes on Tuesday night. Trump began speaking at 9:11 and concluded his remarks at 10:59, eclipsing the record he set in 2025 joint address to Congress at 100 minutes on the dot. For 25 years before that, President Bill Clinton's 2000 address was the longest at 89 minutes. So, what do you guys think? It's better when we do it? And then CNN poll, Trump's State of the Union won over viewers. President Trump delivered his first State of the Union. CNN instant poll found that 64% of viewers believe Trump was moving the country in the right direction. That's 64% of CNN viewers. So those are people on CNN that said this. People that watch CNN. You watched it all. Yeah. It's a 10-point jump from before the address, when 54% of those watching said they felt Trump was leading the nation in the right way. The result undercut criticism from CNN itself. Trump also set a new record. For supporters, the positive polling even from CNN's own audience suggests the president's message continues to resonate. You love the State of the Union? I thought it was really good. Yeah, it was that good. Yes, it was. Definitely good. Definitely good. Yeah. Flip the hamburger. Yeah. But here's Newsweek says Donald Trump's State of the Union speech was the least popular this century. How is that possible that they're going to say this? What? So President Trump's State of the Union was the least popular this century. Drew the weakest reaction of any modern audience, with positive reactions even sliding across his two terms. This is a poll of speech watchers, so it's not a poll that is reflective of the population overall. What we know about the people who tune into State of the Union is that they tend to be fans of whichever president's giving the speech. So which is it? We almost saw an exorcism at the State of the Union. It was like watching a Trump rally. Yeah, it's crazy. What's a snap poll? It means they take it, it's like real fast. It's like done like right away, like 20 people, 50 people, 100 people. The polling universe here is about 13 points more Republican than the overall population. Oh, really? Huh. You sure about that? Yes, it's just bull. It is. White House spokesman told Newsweek in an email statement, the same CNN polling showed 64% of speech watchers felt the country is headed in the right direction. President Trump is delivering on his popular and common sense mandate that nearly 80 million Americans elected him to do. So they're judging very positive reaction to Trump's speech. So it's all 38%. Very positive. But what about the people that were just positive? Because, they're trying to swing it and say that just because it's just the very positive, it's only 38%. State of the Union usually give presidents a boost. Just 38% called the speech very positive, while 38% rated it negative. So negative. So that means like extremely negative and not so negative. So in other words, so 63% offered at least a somewhat positive view. So 63% of people said it was a good speech and they liked it. Yeah, that's not very negative. See, but they're trying to spin it because they try to say, 36% rated it negative, but only 38% rated it very positive. The not very negative. No, the 36% that rated it negative also includes the people who rated it very negative. So that's basically the 36% that rated it negative is all the Democrats. The 63% is everybody else. The trend is also moving in a wrong direction. His very positive score has fallen steadily from his previous addresses, down from 44% and far below his peaks in his first term. So wait a minute. So in his first term with I think this is ridiculous because what are they talking about? So if he had 59% in 2019, very positive, what was the other positive and what, I think they're playing with numbers and they're lying here because that would mean that if it's 60% almost that was very positive in 2019, the positive was what, 20, 30%? Jim, do you use Chrome? Have you tried the Rants Stats extension for Rumble Rants to help with notifications? Don't know if it works or not, but worth a shot. I will look into it. I don't use it. I just wait for you guys to tell me, and then I have it pulled up. I mean, is there a way? What are you talking about? What's it called? Like Rants Stats? I don't want to do it right now. Can I? Dem's got to spin the negative side. Enjoying some live music with dinner tonight. Not in Portland. What a cesspool. It was all good. Demon rats are all jumping on one mistake. The brutal killer was a citizen. It's hilarious. The brutal killer of who? Of Charlie Kirk? Everybody knows he's a citizen. What, did Trump say he was an illegal alien that killed Charlie Kirk? I don't believe so. Talking about the killer of the National Guard's person? Was he a citizen or was he here on a green card? The negative was all the demon rats acting like jerks. Who owns Newsweek? I don't know. Irina? Oh, he didn't say it was an illegal alien. Trump didn't say that was an illegal alien. Trump said that was a person that was released. The Ukrainian Trump never said that was an illegal alien. Trump said that was somebody who should have not been out of jail. That's what he said. Trump said it was somebody who was arrested and released 13, 14 times. He never said illegal alien. He said somebody that shouldn't have been on the street. He didn't say someone who should have been in the country. Not far, but a future. It's a browser extension. Doubt I'd have to walk you through it. You're on show. Yeah, I'll look it out. What's it called again? It's called Rant Stats. He said open border. Maybe he was just. I mean, who knows? He might have been. He might have been. He might have been. He might have. Hold on. All right. Oh, okay. I see what it is. It's a. So it's a. All right. I got it. All right. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah. It's just. I think that'll work. Uh. Yeah, he did, but he shouldn't have been out. That's what I thought he was talking about. The guy that killed the National Guard lady, he said shouldn't have been in the country. No, he shouldn't have been. He was brought here by Joe Biden. He was led in the country by Joe Biden and then given a. I think he was given a green card. You watched D-Day Cobra. Watch it for the fact checked earlier. Okay. All right. Most of these illegals have been arrested and let out of jail. Yeah, most of them have. It was one of our own regular murderers. Yeah, the one that killed the Ukrainian woman. I didn't think. Maybe I misheard, but I swore he just said it was someone, a multiple convicted felon that shouldn't have been let out of jail. Now, if he said shouldn't have, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't mind deporting some of these criminals to like Guantanamo Bay or something. You know, I don't know. Did you guys see Bronca earlier today? He finally it was his members only, I believe, talking about how that all the lies about the illegal aliens. I was going to cover that too. Maybe I will. But for the people that weren't members of Bronca, maybe I will pull that up a little later. So yeah, so they're all lying here. It says Joe Biden's speech drew a very positive result of 41%. Oh, while Obama and Trump's 2018 both reached 48%. So George W. Bush's 2002 speech remains the high water mark at 74. So I wouldn't mind deporting a lot of politicians. Yeah. So Bush's speech less than 6 months after 9/11. Yeah, so it was a high percentage point. Wait, come on, people. And I don't know, Biden's 2002 speech, was it the one where he was in front of Red talking about the winter of death and suffering and how, basically Red, is that speech he's talking about? That was positive? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. As with all instant polls, the sample reflects speech watchers who tend to be more politically engaged. To be honest, we are pretty used to it being illegals. Yes. We gladly give them that one. Yeah, we'll give them that one. Okay, you got us. You got us. You got us. And then New York Post says Trump's inspiring address, letters to the editor, February 26th, 2026. Today's the 25th. The issue, President Trump's record-long State of the Union address. What is going on here? What is going on? He has exposed all the corruption and rot within the Democrat Party. Their vile, unhinged, rude, and very unpatriotic behavior was on full display during the State of Union address. Kathleen Masterson, Newark, Delaware. I am deeply hurt. Trump's home run State of the Union showed exactly how crazy the demon rats are. Are Dems foolish enough to buy this Kamala Harris 2024 autopsy? Mandami offers a sloppy response to NYPD officers attacked with snowballs. That's crazy. Once again, the Post applauds the egomaniacal shoutings of our president. Trump's role is to represent, present, and regard the rights and interests of all Americans, no matter their individual political views and aspirations. But by all appearances, he glorifies differences and consistently promotes divisiveness. Who wrote this crap? Paul E. Rudders. This is some other idiot who's clearly, Manhattan. So he's a demon rat weirdo. Despite theatrics displayed by disgruntled Democrat, Trump held his ground in the State of the Union. Our military was well represented. It's amazing to see a 100-year-old retired captain receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. It'd be nice. I hope the Iranians were tuned in. They are crazy for sure. Did you see like Mark Kelly talking about this guy? I bet you this Navy captain, if Mark Kelly would have came up to him, he probably would have told him, "Get away from me, traitor." The speech was one for the ages, and covering all the important things he's done for the last year. He also chastised the Dem as much as they were hanging their heads in shame by the end of the speech. So that's great, right? Got this. So U.S. hockey is hot. Somali fraud is not. And everything else that's hot and not from the State of the Union. Just rewatched the clip after he says our killer was released from jail to kill. Came across the open border. Oh, does he? Well, yeah. Joe Biden attacking 50% of Americans wasn't unhinged rantings at all. It wasn't. So the land of the free is hot, but it's not the only vogue thing that graced Trump's 2-hour Tuesday night speech. So you got to remember, this is the Federalists. They're kind of rhino-ish at the Federalists. With $20 billion in 3 years prep, Kamala could win. Yeah, maybe. So it's official. The United States is, as president declared, the hottest country anywhere in the world. The land of the free is hot, but it's not the only in vogue thing that graced Trump's 2-hour speech. U.S. men's hockey team was hot. Jack Hughes' broken winning smile and Connor Hellenbuck's President Medal of Freedom were the perfect cherry on the top of American team's patriotic Olympic gold.
The highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Okay. Sharing a birthday with America, World War II veteran Buddy Taggart. Oh, Buddy Taggart, who was honored by Trump, will turn 100 years old on the 250th anniversary of singing the Declaration of Independence. Winnipeg Redditors want to exile Hellebuck. Well, why? Is he from Canada? Is he from Winnipeg? Make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe. Yeah. Happy Hump Day, everyone. POTUS honors World War II hero Buddy Taggart. Buddy earned many honors, including a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star, came home, started a family. Tonight he's looking forward to July 4, 2026, his 100th birthday. So this guy was born on the 4th of July. So literally like that movie from, that Tom Cruise was in, Born on the 4th of July.
So this will be a year to celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
I hope he makes it there. I do. Oh, he plays from Winnipeg, not from there.
So, okay. Buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you.
Okay. I thought the guy, Buddy, was the guy sitting down. I didn't know he stood up. I thought he was in a wheelchair. Usha Vance's baby bump. Speaking of birthdays, what better time to have the first second lady baby in 150 years than on or around America's biggest birthday yet? Trump praises pregnant Usha Vance as she attends State of the Union after announcing her fourth pregnancy. What has he been eating? I don't know. He can stand at almost 100. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought he was in a wheelchair. I know he is what you think he shouldn't be at it, hitting a thumbs up his savagery. He looks pretty good. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it was the guy sitting down. I thought he was like in a wheelchair. I didn't know it was the guy that stood up. Man, like a helicopter pilot was told not to take that route. Duckworth sucketh. Oh yeah. J.D. Vance draped her baby bump. J.D. Vance's wife. Yeah. Oh, he did stand up. Okay. Scott Ruskin, Trump awarded Ruskin a Legion of Merit for his heroic role saving 160 lives during the July 4, 2025 flooding in Central Texas. That's even worse. They still want him on a spike. Yeah. I like how Scott Ruskin, the Coast Guard arrested 150 girls from flooding in Texas, is also very good looking. Wow. War on fraud. Vice President J.D. Vance will lead Trump's war on fraud, a mission inspired by the Somali fraud revelations out of Minnesota. It was the guy next to Melania. Trump officially announced that he'll be a war on fraud led by J.D. Vance. The fraud in Minnesota reminds us there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures brings that stuff right to the U.S. Since when were Marxists into hockey? They're not. This timeline is gay. It is. Christian revival. It's what Charlie would have wanted. The House chamber just broke out in a cheers. Charlie as President Trump memorialized Charlie Kirk and introduced his wife Erica. In Charlie's memory, we must come out and reestablish that America is one nation under God. We love religion and we love America.
Proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man. So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand. Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind.
Oh, fixed Bella. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that rant stats thing is going to work. It's
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe.
What's this say? YouTube. What dreams may come free on YouTube? I don't know. You're always putting stuff in there. I don't know if it's stuff. It's a movie. All right. I don't know. That's a. What are you doing? Putting a movie in there? What are you doing to me? Didn't even have to shock her. Yeah, she's Bella does everything that you need her to do. You know, she's a great girl. Not hot, sitting. Demon rats kept their rumps in their seats for most of Trump's lengthy speech. The refusal to cheer for heroes like the U.S. men's hockey team or honor victims of their deadly soft on crime and open border policies did not go unnoticed by Trump or the State of the Union viewers. Thanks. No problem. I was trying to get that rant thing to work, extension, but it's not. It's saying no streams available or something. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it has to be running when you start the stream or something, or maybe I have to do it with this one. I don't know. View stream. It's saying no streams. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't get it. I don't know. I can't figure out how to make it work. So it is what it is. Maybe it has to be running. It might have to be running. Maybe it has to be running before. Why I said for the future. Maybe it has to be running when the stream starts or something. Did squad members actually chant USA, USA? UKS, say KK. I don't know. I don't think they did. But But I mean, I have a thing. I just have a pop up of I have it popped out here, that I can show the actual chat. But I just don't get, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, someone would have to send a rant, and I'd have to see if it pops up to tell me there's a rant for it to work. If it's working. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think because I have it. No, KKK, they said that? Oh, probably. Imagine wearing a Ukrainian flag pin and your entire Democrat Party won't stand up for Irina, who was murdered in cold blood. Oh, God, that's crazy. Some have given their life to fight for this country. Others can't even stand up for it. Like, this should all be used in ads. This should be running in ads like you wouldn't believe. All these people with this, like, oh, we're going to wear a thing about the Epstein, release the names, release the files. Like, they didn't say a freaking word for the past 20 years, but these files have been around. I mean, Epstein got first convicted in 2007 or something, or 2008. Like, what are they talking? There's no hiding behind the hijab on this one, Somali fraud. Ilhan Omar's face when Trump announced he's going to tackle Somali fraud in Minnesota. Uh-oh. Coming for me? Insider trading. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up? If she's here, doubt it. Trump is the funniest president of all time. Zero debate. After Demon Rats stood up for passing the Stop the Insider Trading Act. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up? If she's here, doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay. Wow. It's all politics for demons. They are literal demons.
Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
The Indian clap. Yeah. Blumenthal's not happy because
sure
he makes a lot.
Anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. So, newsbusters. Yeah. So, cheating in elections. Congress should pass the Common Sense, Country Saving, Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, the SAVE Act. Way to drunk. Yeah. She was there, but I don't know if she stood up, but I doubt it too. The Indian clapped. Yeah. She only clapped 1,028% of the time. Which mandates voters show identification before casting a ballot. Failure to support such popular legislation, Trump noted on Tuesday, can only mean one thing, because they want to cheat. It's like 80% of the citizens, the American public, the citizens, want it passed. I don't know how they get around this.
Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated, and Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
I mean, it's very insulting. It's very, very insulting to all the, African Americans, the Hispanic Americans, the Asian Americans, that the Democrats, the demon rats theory and their story and their claim is that we can't have voter ID because that would just disenfranchise the people that are too stupid to get identification. Like, you can't fly on a plane without ID. You can't open a bank account. You can't buy liquor or cigarettes or a gun. Why would voting be not the same thing? 124th South American. You're right. It said she was South American. You're right.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they.
The dead still have ID, though, Trumpinator. They just have old ID without pictures on it. They're papers, you know. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Praising IVF, in vitro fertilization. Trump's desire for more American babies is good. He's bragging about lower costs for in vitro fertilization, a procedure responsible for the death of more unborn babies than abortion every year is not. So the Federalist is saying that Spanglish, okay, that it's in vitro fertilization is bad because it causes the death of more unborn babies because they create the embryos so that they could have a baby. I mean, you can't win, you know. And this person, like, I see these. This is where, honestly, these people are trying to have a baby. That's what the in vitro fertilization is. They want to have a baby. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you're like, oh no, because like, they also talk about the underprivileged and they can't get government benefits without ID either. Yeah, unless you're an illegal alien, then you could just get whatever you want with nothing. Anti-Americanism. It's no secret that the demon rats hate America. They further publicized this disdain on Tuesday night when they refused to cheer Trump's declaration that the first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. I mean, that's just common sense. Yeah, the Democrats refused to stand when Trump says the duty of American government was to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. This should be every ad. This should be not round-the-clock ads with this on there, non-stop.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Where's Fetterman? Did Fetterman stand? Who is that guy? Some congressman from somewhere who's a Ukrainian. Like, they all love Ukraine because it's where they're laundering their money and they're getting their payouts from. We will never see that ad. It will be on CNN. It should be. It should be everywhere. This is the greatest, one of the greatest lines of the night, I think. He said he did. He says he stood. I don't know. I didn't see it. Is it loud enough? Can you guys hear it? I don't know why the sound got quiet, it seems. Oh, look at him. Yeah. I would be perfect. Let's see. Gitmo. 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 It was the original broadcast audio too that's like this, up and down. It keeps going up and down depending on the clip. I don't get it.
Shame. You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
They should. They should be ashamed of herself. And that Somali pirate screaming her crap. She should have been dragged out by her hijab. Should have started chanting traitors. Yeah. Dudes in dresses, enough said. Trump talks about the trans people and they cut to Sarah McBride. The cameraman is a savage. Yeah. So there's that. Okay, then OAN has some stuff to talk about. Trump touts secure border during the State of the Union. Trump highlighted record low border crossings after 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across the border, totally unfettered and unchecked. We now have the strongest, most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted in the United States. That's great. Big volcano eruption in Colombia just now. Oh, wow. Does Sarah have balls? Yes. We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, illegal aliens have been into the U.S.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
It's possible. See how it's going up and down right here? Did, but not aware of current status, and also. Well, the person changed from Tim to Sarah, like, very fast, like that change, like from a man to, like, it takes, like, to get that surgery is a lot, and it takes a long time, and you would see, you know, there would be effects. Like, I don't even know if they ever had, and anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Let me see. Woodtick Mike says he sent me something on X. Let me try to pull it up and see what it is, if it's important, because he doesn't usually volcano. Okay, right here. Wow. So this is breaking news. Wow, volcano erupted. That almost looks like a bomb went off. That looks like a bomb, not a volcano. We'll look at that in a second. According to data from the Pew Research, unlawful U.S.-Mexico border crossings reached 55-year low in fiscal year 2025. Marks a sharp decline from 2022. It was down to 238,000 from 2.2 million encounters. Yeah, but how many made it through that weren't, that we didn't even see? So, all right, let's go to this now. Just a mud volcano. Just in, volcano erupts in Colombia. To me, this almost looks like a bomb explosion with the mushroom cloud.
Yelena!
Uy. Ahí me lo pasa ahí. Hace pasar Carlos, tiene mundo muchacho.
Oye, ¿esto dónde?
Volcán.
Oh. Okay, that's crazy. Here are 10 things we know about this volcano past the current situation. It's a mud volcano, not magmatic, driven by pressurized mud, water, clay, and methane gas, much smaller than lava volcanoes. Okay, so it's not actually a volcano. It's near the municipal water treatment plant. So it's the water treatment plant, probably chemicals and stuff. No injuries or deaths. Produced a large methane fireball, mushroom-shaped plume, thick smoke, and boiling mud at dusk. So it's not really a volcano. Other damage: killed nearby animals, damaged roads, created ground cracks, burned some vegetation. Common in Urabada region due to tectonics, thick sediments, and trapped gas. Maybe linked to a heavy recent rains and flooding. No new eruptions overnight. Cleanup and monitoring continues. So it's not really a volcano. Volcano eruption blamed on white supremacy. Is it really? What? Nope, not gonna listen to that. There's music. Sorry. So and then what's his face? Stephen Colbert. This guy Stephen Colbert. He's attacking Hakeem Jeffries for not doing anything at the watch.
For Democrats who did attend, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries urged his members in the chamber to not make a scene, an approach he dubbed silent defiance, which I believe is a bold rebrand of doing jack squat. As Martin Luther King once said, shh.
Wow. Tuesday's episode of Late Show, he slammed Hakeem Jeffries' silent State of the Union protest as a bread. So there's that. It's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. That I wonder if they're gonna. I'm probably gonna get a claim on that. Payback for making me thumbs up. A large geyser. Yeah, damn it. Thanks for the reminder, Jim. Forgot to repost on X. Poop. Yeah, it's probably a big poop volcano. By mud, it's probably a bunch of poop and stuff. They said it was right by where they process poop. Colbert on silent defiance of Jeffries at the State of the Union. Bold rebrand of doing jack squat. No, I don't want to. What? Stephen Colbert knocking House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' quiet approach to countering the President's State of the Union address. In a live episode that CBS aired following the speech, Colbert said that Jeffries urged members of the chambers to not make a scene. But they didn't listen. They didn't listen. They made scenes, especially Crazy Al Green, Ilhan the Pirate, Omar, and Rashida, I'm a member of Hamas, Tlaib. It was an approach, Colbert continued quoting, that the lawmakers' silent defiance, which is a bold rebrand of doing jack squat. Ahead of the State of the Union, Jeffrey said that he had advised his caucus the two options that are in front of us either attend with silent defiance or not to attend and send a message that in that fashion, which will include participation in a variety of different alternative programming. Yeah, we saw the different programming where they were with a bunch of Antifa fucking frogs. But multiple Democrats made their presence known. Al Green was escorted out after holding up a sign rendered "Black people aren't apes." Reference to a since deleted, whatever. Elmar repeatedly heckled Trump as he made derogatory remarks about Somali immigrants. So it's derogatory remarks. You're racist and derogatory to talk about the fraud that all the Somalis did. That's crazy. At Trump's address last year, several Democrats also made headlines with disruptive protests. I think this president's unhinged tirades, I think this president's unpopular policy should be the story, not sort of gestures, says Rep. Sarah McBride, the man, told Notice in a recent interview. I don't think what we saw in Congress last year was particularly helpful. So, we're all primates, aren't we? Aren't we primates too? Aren't humans primates? WDMC. Then a rap says, Stephen Colbert mocks Hakeem Jeffries' encouragement of silence defiance. So that's funny. They're getting attacked. They're getting attacked from they're eating their own. The left is eating their own. It's great to see. It's great to see. And then this Trump shows shade at Pelosi with call to end congressional stock trading, gets ovation from Senator Warren. Senator Green, Al Green saying that, Congressman Al Green saying that is his own comedy. Neuro says, for extra exclusive content, join Jim tells you over on Locals. Well, I don't know how exclusive it is on Locals. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren gives a standing ovation to Trump. We saw it. We're not going to watch it again. One of the most unusual sights was Elizabeth Warren giving Trump a standing ovation. She's a progressive icon. She's a communist. She's one of Trump's fiercest critics, but the president mentioned one policy that got Warren to her feet, cheering him on when he asked Congress to pass the Stop Insider Trading Act. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit using inside information. That's right. Warren has long backed similar legislation. So say hockey star Johnny Gaudreau's murder case thrown into chaos as new test results revealed. Other Democrats similarly stood up to applause, drawing notice from the president. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand? Yeah. Hominoid. We're a hominoid. Caucasoid. Republicans have long needled Nancy Pelosi over well-timed trades her husband has made over the years. Yeah, they're all well-timed. Pelosi has a net worth of more than $269 million, making the retiring rep one of the wealthiest lawmakers in Congress. The former House Speaker glared at Trump after he fired the broadside at her. Well, no, she didn't stand. She's got the stupid release the blank files. Warren has supported that. She supported something, but if the ones she supported I thought had like weird stuff in it though, like basically that would have you can't ban them from buying stocks, Congress. You couldn't really do it, I don't think, because they're supposed to be actually like citizen. We should just get back to where we have the correct number of Congress people and that they're only there for a couple weeks out of the year. We don't need them there all year round, every day, trying to pass legislation to control us. They should be at home, tilling the fields, running their stores, working in their law office, doing their jobs. They shouldn't even get paid, now that I think about it. They shouldn't get any money. They should be a service to the country. They should get paid nothing. Trump's dig at her was a revenge of sorts for their long-standing feud. Oh, still private citizens, yeah. The president did occasionally get applause from Democrats, when Warren also seen standing when Trump said Iran can't be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon. For the most part, the demon rats sat through Trump's speech in distress, rarely clapping. Reps including Al Green, Ilhan Omar, and Tlaib interrupted him. For a second year in a row, Green was ejected from the House chamber during Trump's speech, this time for waving around a sign that read, "Black people aren't apes." Omar and Tlaib left early after repeatedly heckling Trump through his speech. Can ban them from voting on legislation that would affect the stock they own. I don't know. I don't know about that, though. I really don't. I don't know if that would stand up to constitutional muster. Then, Gateway Pundit just says Trump roasts Democrats for standing up against insider trading, calls out crooked Nancy Pelosi. So we saw that. Breitbart just says Trump dings Nancy Pelosi while calling for Congress to ban congressional stock trading. I don't know. They just have to vote president? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, let's ensure member Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. You should make it, if they use insider information, they should be subject to the same crime, the criminal process. You can't stop them from owning stocks and trading stocks, but if they use insider information, they should go to jail. Otherwise, it is insider trading, which is illegal for everyone but them. Right. That's what I'm saying. No. What they should do is just say you could prosecute them for insider trading, make them not exempt from the law. They're exempted from the law that everyone else is. How is that not unconstitutional anyway? How can they pass a law that every other citizen has to obey, but they are exempted from? That's wrong. That is not American or America. All right, and then Trump said that in the speech about J.D. Vance is the next story. Trump said about J.D. Vance going to lead the fraud task force, but actually, he is going to be the head, but they have to have a DOJ attorney. So Trump picks a new Justice Department, a new person to lead the Justice Department unit scrutinized as President Trump declares the war on fraud. President Trump's pick to lead the new Justice Department division dedicated to rooting out fraud said Wednesday he would pursue prosecutions without fear or favor as questions grow about how the new unit would operate free of political influence from a White House that has declared a war on fraud. Wait a minute. The president is the chief law enforcement officer in the country. He's in charge of the executive branch. The executive branch is in charge of prosecutions. So the president saying it's a war on fraud, that just means that's what they have to do. Lisa comes in with $2. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Wow, right at the 1 hour mark. So that means we are now $73 away from adding an extra hour to the show. That would be the first extra hour. Thank you so much. Exactly. Martha Stewart just got a good tip. She didn't realize it as good as it was. Yeah. We will lose our country when we don't get these illegals deported and get voter ID in place. Yes, we will. Fraud is criminal. Yeah. It's Martha Stewart, I don't actually know if she broke the law. The person that should have broke the law was the person who told her the information, in my opinion. If somebody calls me up and goes, hey, you should buy this stock, and I buy it, and then it's oh, well, that guy had insider information to tell you that. Well, how did I know? The proposed National Fraud Enforcement Division has raised eyebrows not only because fraud is already prosecuted by the agency's criminal division, but because the White House suggests it could have an unusual role in overseeing the new division's work. The White House has a role overseeing all the DOJ's work. Colin McDonald's nomination to serve as the first assistant attorney general in charge of the new division comes as the Trump administration has put fresh attention on the widespread fraud in Minnesota. I'm not going to call it allegations. We already know there's widespread fraud. There's been tons of people convicted already. During his State of the Union, Trump announced that Vice President J.D. Vance will lead the war on fraud, accusing members of Minnesota's Somali community of having pillaged billions from American taxpayers. Rant. It didn't pop up anywhere, so that thing's not working. Let's see. Neurodivergent 1 says, $70 away, Jim. Thank you so much, Neurodivergent 1. We are now $70 away from adding an extra hour to the show. Thank you so much. Save that. Show that. Do this. Yes. Best fix is ban on buying stocks while in office. If they want to buy stocks, get out of office. I don't think you can do that because they're supposed to be citizen legislatures. So, like, we'll try tomorrow and send a rant to test. All right, I will try tomorrow. And it might work. We'll see. Tomorrow, it might work if it's set up in time. Like, maybe it'll work. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask somebody to try to figure out how to set it up and how to make it work. Because I'm not seeing. It's supposed to be. It said it was supposed to be a sidebar. I don't see the sidebar anywhere. It's supposed to be all the stuff. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't. It's saying view stream, none. I don't have a stream in there, so I don't know. Like, it's not even showing me the stream, so I don't know how to make it work. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have to close the pop out or something to make it work. Do this. Let me see. I don't. Maybe it's got the rant. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe you can't. Maybe I can't start it in the middle, or something. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I figured it out. It's a thing there. Okay. All right. Let me see if options. Okay. All right, I got it now. I figured it out. All right. I got it now. All righty. I got it now. I figured it out. I figured it out. No. No. Damn it. Oh, man. All righty. All right. Sorry about all that. Just heard Joe say he didn't know what UTC means. Oof. Universal time code. Everything they vote on would be insider trading then. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, $2 rally from Sunshine. Thank you, Sunshine. Thank you, Sunshine. Yeah. And then Marjorie with another $2. Thank you, Marjorie. Oh, that means we are now $66 away. Just $66 away. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Don't like fraud. Me neither. Rant. Another rant. Oh, life is indifferent testing. Yeah, it's right here. See, there it is now. I got it. I got it working right there. See, there it is. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. So that's it. I got it working now. Hooray! I figured it out. Not mine either. Yeah. Oh, that was $1, right? Yeah. So. Yep, $1. All right. So, but it's still, that won't show like on my screen. That's got to be like, it won't, it's a sidebar. Like it won't show up on the sidebar here on my thing. It's weird. It's like, I don't think, I'll have to check. I'll do some testing. I'll do some testing to see if it works better. So McDonald didn't directly ask when pressed during his confirmation hearing Wednesday whether he would follow an order from the president to open a certain investigation. McDonald, a seasoned prosecutor who works in Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanchard's office, would only say that he follows the facts and applies the laws in each case. The vision that we have is the vision that is large enough where no fraud is too big and no fraud is too small, so we can reach all actors within the chain of criminal culpability, and that no one more than that. Those are the ones that we are going to be looking after, investigating, and following the facts without fear or favor. Jim needs more monitors. I think I might need a second monitor, but I just have one big monitor, and I separate it. And my monitor, I can separate it in 4 corners, like 4 squares. For an administration, even for an administration that's broken down many barriers designed to insulate the Justice Department from White House influence, the Justice Department is not supposed to be insulated from the White House. The Justice Department works for the White House. All their power comes from the president. Yes. Martha Stewart was not convicted for insider trading. She was convicted for lying to federal investigators. Thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, that means we are now $60 away because I forgot to take the dollar off. So we are now $60 away with that 5. Thank you so much, Kofi, 2A. So we're now 60 away from adding an extra hour to the show. That's awesome. Oh, Joe may have an extra monitor that I could get to work. Maybe. This guy Magnus says, I'd love to join your streams whenever you're streaming. Add me on Discord. Sammy Yo 24. Oh, thank you. I'll look into that when I'm done streaming. Thank you. Once you go by any means and your opponent has to do the same, put that in a textbook. Yeah. The administration has since indicated McDonald would instead report to the Deputy Attorney General like all other division heads, though his confirmation hearing left open many questions about what exact role Vance would have overseeing investigations and prosecutions. Federal prosecutors have been scrutinizing staggering amounts of fraud in Minnesota for years, and dozens of defendants have been charged, most of them of Somali descent. You don't say. You picture Joe with an old 13-inch CRT monitor. It did look pretty small, like maybe 19-inch, maybe 20, maybe 24 or 21 inch or something like that. It wasn't very small. He showed it. It was very big. I mean, it was small. But the scope of the alleged fraud came under intense spotlight in recent months as Trump's crackdown on Minneapolis. A federal prosecutor said that half or more of the roughly $18 billion in federal funds that supported 14 programs may have been stolen. No, that federal prosecutor said $19 billion in fraud, more than. Yeah, she was covering for the guy that told her. If confirmed, McDonald could immediately face a challenge in recruiting prosecutors to investigate the fraud because the U.S. Attorney's Office of Minnesota has been gutted by resignations. So we don't want any of these people that resigned because they clearly weren't going to enforce the law. They were going to use those people were biased. Those people had political axes to grind that they wouldn't enforce the law without fear or favor. When he pulled it on camera, I literally spit my tea out laughing. Yeah, it was small. Among those who have resigned, the office was Joseph Thompson. The prosecutor's been leading the sprawling Minnesota fraud probe. So maybe he was doing a shitty job. Maybe he was covering for people. Maybe he was covering for the politicians. Maybe that's why he resigned. Ever think about that? Ever think that maybe there's a reason these people resign? The Division's fraud section last year charged 265 people, up more than 10% from the year before. Those cases amounted to more than $16 billion in fraud losses. A record for the section, more than double the total from 2024. Even with those successes, McDonald told the committee there's much more work to be done to ensure our taxpayer-funded programs are free from fraud. The problem is massive, said McDonald's, and so President Trump and the Attorney General were right to identify this as a place where we need to put significantly more focus. Tonight's show, he's having a bad night fighting his computer. Yeah, he is. Martha Stewart was a stockbroker originally. Yeah, I know. I was talking to him on the phone trying to get him to help him fix it when the monitor and everything stopped working, but I don't know. He's got some like really hanky setup with. He has a really nice microphone. One of them SM7s or whatever it is, the Shure SM7s, which is a XLR microphone, but he has it using USB cable running to his computer as opposed to having an actual like a roadcaster type of thing, a soundboard with his mic going to the soundboard through XLR cable. Like I have XLR to a roadcaster, and then everything goes to the roadcaster and then goes out. Baby CRT, now I know why he did not know what UTC is. If I said Greenwich, he would get it. 19 billion that could have been used on all Americans, which include improvements, locations, land, health, etc. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy that kind of money could get stolen. Like, you would think somebody would have been watching, but I guess when like people complain to like Minnesota's Attorney General and them, they just covered it up. Like Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota, is on tape saying, I'll take care of this, I'll get rid of the problem, and then they donated money to him like 2 days later. Like, it's crazy. So I don't know if you guys heard, but a speedboat left Florida and got too close to Cuba, and Cuba responded by shooting up the boat and killing 4 Americans. So Rubio vows U.S. would respond appropriately to Cuba killing 4 people on a Florida speedboat. You heard that right. The Cubans have started attacking and killing Americans. You know what that means? This is probably not going to actually be a...
So this morning, we were made aware by Cuban authorities of an incident off the coast of Cuba. We immediately began to look into it. As it stands now, the Department of Homeland Security, the Coast Guard, others are involved. The majority of the information we still possess is what Cuban authorities are providing both the public and the U.S. government. We have our embassy on the ground in Havana working this as we speak, asking for access to the people that were on those vessels, if they were American citizens or permanent residents. According to the Cuban regime, that the boat was registered in Florida. We're tracking that down. We will know shortly, and we will know quickly, many more facts about this incident than we know right now. The majority of the facts being publicly reported are those by the information provided by the Cubans. We will verify that independently, and as we gather more information, then we'll be prepared to respond accordingly. I'm not going to speculate, because I'm not going to opine on what I don't yet know, but we're going to find out exactly what happened here, and then we'll respond accordingly. Okay? Any questions?
Have you been in touch with anyone in Cuba? And I mean, what's your...
Well, the authorities in Cuba, the border guard has constant contact with the Coast Guard, so they alerted them this morning. I was made aware of it at that time. Oftentimes in these incidents and things like this, the initial reports are incomplete, and then as the day has progressed, I think early this morning, certainly by 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. this time, maybe a little later our time here, I reached out and we began to look at it independently. We have various different elements of the U.S. government that are trying to verify elements of the story based on what's been provided to us now. I know that the Coast Guard has responded to the area, to the vicinity. I'll need to get more fidelity and understanding from them once I get on the airplane about what exactly they're looking for. I don't know who has possession of the vessel, which is the first thing we would want to have. We obviously want to have access to these people if they are American citizens or U.S. residents.
Have you spoken to any Cuban officials about this?
No, we haven't spoken directly about this now. No, I'm not going to comment about any conversations we've had on this topic. Suffice it to say, what it's important to be out there and everyone needs to know is that we're going to have our own information on this, and we're going to figure out exactly what happened. And there are a number of things that could have happened here. But I'm not even going to speculate as to what it could have been. It's a wide range of things. But suffice it to say, it is highly unusual to see shootouts in open sea like that. It's not something that happens every day. It's something, frankly, that hasn't happened with Cuba in a very long time. But we're going to find out. We're not going to base our conclusions on what they've told us. And I'm very, very confident that we will know the full story of what happened here, and we will know it soon. And then, we'll respond appropriately based on what that information tells us.
Yes, we will find out. We are going to find out what happened, Mr. Cubanos. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio vowed the United States would get answers about the Cuba shootout. So Cuba says it was a shootout, but the only people that were killed were people on the boat that they're claiming was our Florida registered boat. We're going to find out what exactly happened. We'll respond accordingly. Rubio said Wednesday while traveling to St. Kitts and Nevis. He concluded that it's highly unusual to see shootouts in the open sea. It's not something that happens every day. It's the Gulf of America. Yes. Yeah. Cuba's Ministry of the Interior announced a deadly altercation in a post on social media, declaring it was protecting its territorial waters when its border troops killed at least 4 and wounded 6 who were aboard a Florida-registered boat that had entered Cuba waters. See, now that's for 10 people to be on the boat. Doesn't sound like a drug boat. That's way too many people to be on a drug boat. That sounds like somebody in like a boat that was going somewhere, like and maybe just got too close to Cuba. You know, but they said the boat was chasing the other boat, telling them to stop in the water, and then fired on the boat. So they were trying to like board the boat and take the boat, probably try to take the people hostage. You know, like a boat that big probably has, what's it called? There's a system, and I can't think of the name of it now. Damn it. VNS, where it actually tracks their location. So they'll know exactly where the boat was. The U.S. will be able to figure it out. Once they get the boat, they get the hull number. They'll be able to get the tracking system. So they'll know where everything happened, where they were, if they were really that close to Cuba or if they were in international waters when this happened. So we'll see. It's called, they have borders, go figure. Yeah. We're not going to base our conclusion on what they told us. We're going to respond accordingly based on the information, what our information tells us. Things have really changed since Ricky Ricardo. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. J.D. Vance also said that the Trump administration is working to learn more. Hopefully, it's not as bad as we fear it could be, but I can't say more because I don't know more, Vance told reporters. Cuba's government said that on Wednesday morning, a crew on the speedboat opened fire on the Cuban personnel, resulting in the injury of the commander of the Cuban vessel. The Cuban border guards returned fire. 4 aggressors on a foreign vessel were killed and 6 were injured. The injured individuals were evacuated and received medical assistance. So 10 people. Cuba took 6 hostage, killed 4. A vessel registered in Florida with the United States with a registration number FL7726H approached. Well, actually, I think I can look up that number right now and tell you. 7726SH. I have to think that this is. I have to think that this information is not good. Like maybe this isn't a triple taps. Rest in peace, son. Yeah, like Antifa, it's a myth. Yeah, I have to think maybe this might not be like this information may be bad because if you look, it says that this boat was built in 1981. And it's only 21 to 24 feet long. Like. That's not a big boat to have 10 people on it, first of all. Like, I have to think that something is wrong. Like, maybe this had false registration or something because 10 people on a 21-foot boat, no. Not in the ocean, not in the open ocean. Like, that don't make no sense. So it's possible maybe these people were fleeing Cuba. There's something else to the story. This doesn't make sense. It says it's a Proline speedboat built in 1981. So that don't make no sense. None of this makes any sense. All right, that does not make any sense. It's unclear who owned the boat or if Americans were on board. New York official told the New York Times a firefight involved a U.S. civilian boat working to get relatives out of Cuba, adding that the vessel was not U.S. Naval or Coast Guard boat. So it was a boat going and moving. So it was people getting people out of Cuba. Oh, it's a 24-foot power boat. It was manufactured in 81. Well, that's at 21 to 23. Trader Kelly, it's just cocaine boats. So this was people moving, people fleeing. So Cuba just assassinated asylum seekers. Oh my God. They just murdered asylum seekers. People trying to flee the communist. So Florida Attorney General announced he would investigate our directed Office of Statewide Prosecution to work with our federal, state, and law enforcement partners to investigate. The Cuban government cannot be trusted. We'll do everything in our power to hold these communists accountable. Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez, who represents Miami-Dade, called the incident a massacre and demanded the abolishment of Miguel Diaz-Canel's presidency. The regime must be relegated to the dustbin of history. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that guy, Carlos Jimenez, is a Democrat. 4 people on a Florida boat killed by Cuban forces after entering its waters. So this was probably a boat that was moving people, like taking people from Cuba, like shoveling, bringing them basically to illegally enter the U.S. because we have this weird policy. Like once a Cuban touches foot on U.S. soil, they get asylum. The El Pino Canal sits directly south of Florida off the north side of Cuba. It's frequently used for maritime traffic and is known to be patrolled by the Cuban government. Cuba is undergoing an economic crisis and rising prices in food and gas, partially because of Trump's has stopped oil shipments to the island. Pat Acker says, did us a favor. Well, we don't want people killing, people, these people are trying to flee defectors. Yeah. It was a defection. They were fleeing defectors. Who knows? This could have been like people from the government or something. This could have been Rubio acknowledged the humanitarian crisis, but blamed the island's leadership. The people of Cuba are suffering today. They've been suffering for a long time. It's the authorities there and the government who are responsible for that. They're the ones that made decisions that have left Cuba vulnerable to the situation they're in now. Tensions are also high between Havana and Washington after the administration's aggressive policy of attacking vessels in the Caribbean that claims are trafficking drugs. The U.S. has carried out at least 44 strikes to date. Hey, Jacob Castro's here. What's up, Jacob? Great to see you. Yeah, wet foot, dry foot. Yeah. Final mission, Rambo. Yep, there you go. And then this just comes from the Gateway Pundit. Cuba claims it killed 4 passengers, wounded 6 others on Florida registered boat. That's still a version of human trafficking. Yes, it is. But if these are, I don't understand why they would have guns on the boat if they're, it doesn't seem like that's a good idea, but I don't know. It's not illegal for a U.S. citizen to have a gun on the boat. Every Floridian knows that law, yeah. Well, that's why they generally try to stop them on the ocean, Anne-Marie. Like the U.S. will get them on and stop them before they hit land, because that way then they don't get, they don't automatically get a free asylum claim. They'll take them somewhere else. And the Cuban embassy in the U.S. has announced that 4 passengers of a U.S. registered speedboat were shot and killed by members of the Cuban border guard. The Cuba has an embassy in the U.S.? That seems weird. We don't have an embassy in Cuba. Maybe we do. We didn't used to. We didn't used to have any diplomatic relations with them. It smells funny. It does. It smells funny. According to a press release, a Florida-registered speedboat was traveling 1 nautical mile northeast of El Pino Canal when it was approached by border guards. The press release continued as the border guards approached the boat. Passengers began to open fire. Logan and Messina got smoked full sail. It's illegal to have beer on our boats. You're from St. Pete. Cuban border guards responded with fire, resulting in 4 passengers being killed and some others being injured. On one day, we can zero tolerance. We can have beer on our boats in Florida and U.S. The driver cannot be consuming alcohol. They get it's like a lower thing in the DUI. We do have an embassy in Cuba. Okay. Wait, is that where the ear thing started? You know what? You're right. Did Obama open the embassy, or was it there before? Because I could swear it was. that we didn't have one before. That we didn't have like relations with them. People reported losing memories and blanking out. On the morning of February 25th, a violating speedboat was detected within Cuban territorial waters. The vessel registered in Florida, approached up to 1 nautical mile. Up to 1 nautical mile. So, Havana syndrome. Havana syndrome. We have a prison in Cuba. Yeah, it's on Guantanamo Bay. When a surface unit of the border guard carrying 5 servicemen approached the vessel for identification, the crew of the speedboat opened fire. I think they're lying. I think they tried to stop the boat. The boat refused to stop, and they started firing on the boat to get it to stop and hit the people. That's what I would immediately say happened. As a consequence, at the time of this report, 4 aggressors on the foreign vessel were killed and 6 were injured. The injured individuals were evacuated and received medical assistance. In face of the current challenges, Cuba reaffirms its determination to protect its territorial waters based on the principle that national defense is a fundamental pillar of the Cuban state in safeguarding its sovereignty and ensuring stability in the region. It resumed in 2023. Okay. Open microwave range. U.S. Rep. Carlos Jimenez in a post says the dictatorship in Cuba has attacked a boat from Florida and murdered those on board. This regime must be relegated to the dustbin of history. Okay. It's a developing story. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this and see if more comes of it. You know. Illegal? Yeah, maybe. So I don't know. Could not watch right now. What's going on? What am I missing? What can't you watch right now? Anyway. Zero Head just says, regime must be relegated to dustbin of history. Florida congressman erupts after Cuba attacks U.S. speedboat. So, yeah, so we saw all this. The key question is now how the federal government frames the narrative around the maritime incident, whether it uses it to shape public opinion, whether this marks the early innings of a new narrative that supports full future intervention to topple the communists in Havana. Reopened during Obama, closed during Trump, reopened under Biden. Shocker. Okay. Trump's Cuba pressure campaign could spark Cohiba cigar price spikes. I mean, there's a bunch of Cohibas that are made somewhere in the Dominican Republic, I believe. I've smoked. I like Cuban cigars. Cuban Cohibas, they're good. You don't know what he's talking about? Yeah, I don't know either. I wonder what SB Farmers. I need a new keyboard that's a reliable A. I can watch you. Oh, you're saying you can't watch someone else? I like Cohibas. In other words, the Cuban Cohiba is about to go limit up. The Cuban's embassy, the vessel registered in Florida, approached within 1 mile. The incident took place on Cuba's north coast near Cayo Falcones and the Corralillo area along the edge of Santa Clara Bay. So maybe they were, I don't know. So maybe they were talking about they were traveling here. Maybe we were just, I don't know. We have to wait and see. I'm just speculating at this point. When a surface unit of Border Guard Administration carrying 5 servicemen approached the vessel for identification, the crew of the speedboat opened fire. Like I read another story somewhere that said they told them to stop and they didn't stop. So, so we saw this. So we'll have to just keep watching this and see what armed men aboard the Florida Register were doing inside Cuban territory. Remain open question at this moment. Yes, developing. So, what if event happened? Do you think it was the Cubans who targeted us or our own? I don't know. I don't know. Alto. Not a fan of nicotine. Okay. All right. We got this story. Hochul demands cash from the Trump administration. That's right. The governor of New York is demanding money, wants cash. New York Governor Kathy Hochul is demanding that Trump administration return what she calls billions of dollars unfairly taken from New Yorkers for what she describes as illegal tariffs. In a sharply worded statement, Hochul accused President Trump of imposing tariffs that act as a backdoor tax on families across the Empire State. So this is what the demon rats are going to try to do. They're going to try to start telling the people like, oh, Trump's tariffs, you cost you this money, even though they didn't. The inflation didn't go up. The prices didn't go up. Nothing went up because of the tariffs. It's crazy. Yeah, $1,700 per household. $13 billion drained from our state. Just a week ago, Gavin Newsom took a moment out of his State of the State address to make sure everybody knew about the amazing work LAUSD Superintendent Alvaro Camino was doing. Yeah, we got that story. We got it, SB Farmer. We got it. It's quite fitting that the FBI is raiding his home today. I got it. Kathy is retarded. She hunts children on Halloween. The demand comes amid a broader legal battle over the Trump-era policy. The Supreme Court recently struck down portions of the sweeping tariffs, marking a major setback for the economic agenda. Her saying that government administration should pay every dollar back, like, pay it to who? Who's owed the money? If the money was passed on to the consumer, then it's the consumer, but only the consumers who actually paid it. Like, you can't just demand the money. Like, there's no freaking way. She wants to get the money so then she can give the money to the people and say, I got you this money. Hochul's call for repayment raises legal questions as there's no clear mechanism for direct reimbursement to individual households for tariff-related costs. Still, the governor framed the issue as one of fairness. So the clash underscores the deep divide between the demon rats and the Trump Americans. Supporters of the tariffs argue they were designed to protect American manufacturing. Critics, including Hochul, said the measure disproportionately hurt consumers and small businesses. I don't believe it. Whether New Yorkers will see any form of repayment remains uncertain, but the governor's message was clear. She wants Washington to answer for what she calls billions taken from families across the state. Former president? What do you mean? What? What do you mean by former president? Does it say former president? Did I say former president? What are you talking about? Yeah, look at her yelling. Mm-hmm. So that's that story. Mm-hmm. New York governor seeks $13.5 billion in tariff refunds. Well, it's not going to happen. Scroll up. I don't see it. I don't see it. You're talking on that page? New York is mine. I'm going to flip New York. So Hochul is demanded the Trump administration refund residents up to $13 billion. Well, the court's ruling was narrow and only addressed the IEEPA tariffs, which only accounted for a fraction of the tariffs Trump imposed. It's in the top paragraph of that one I was reading? Oh, I'll go back then. Oh, it does say that. In a sharply worded letter, Hochul accused former President Trump. What the fuck is wrong with these people? What the fuck is wrong with them? It says right here, former President Trump. Oh my God, I didn't catch that. Are these people high writing this? What is wrong with you? Thanks for catching that. Wow, that is insane. Why the hell would they write that? That's nuts. The senseless illegal tariffs were just a tax on New York. That's why I'm demanding the refund. Hochul cited the Yale Budget Lab's estimate that New Yorkers paid $13.5 billion in tariffs, though the estimate does not appear to exclude non-IEEPA tariffs. Can't hear it, Jim. Can't hear what, me? Or that? There was nobody talking. She needs to provide receipts in triplicate with 2 small photos of each perfected person. Yes, AI wrote it, definitely. So, yeah. So she's going off something that doesn't break down the tariffs that are illegal. She's just an idiot. All right, now we got this other Biden appointed judge. This judge who was appointed after Trump won. This guy was appointed as a judge and confirmed by the Senate in like December of 2024, after Trump won. AI probably writes the Senate bills too. She's talking about Trump from 8 years ago. Maybe. It's crazy. So this Biden judge, this tyrannical Biden hack, says that Trump's third country deportation policy is unconstitutional. And what's odd, like not odd like ah ha ha, but odd like strange, is that the Supreme Court has already said Trump can deport people to third countries. Third country deportation is fine. They approved it. They said it was okay. So now this judge, who's a district court judge, he's like at the kiddie table, he thinks he's going to say this. This is nuts. A federal judge appointed by Joe Biden and approved after Trump won blocked the Trump administration from deporting illegal immigrants to so-called third countries without first giving them notice and an opportunity to challenge the removal in a high-stakes case that's likely headed to the Supreme Court. Yeah, because the Supreme Court already said he can. The ruling from Judge Brian Murphy, wow, it's the same judge who just keeps making all these rulings. It's weird. It's like he's one of the judges that Chuck Schumer was talking about when Chuck Schumer said, we installed 248 judges to fight Trump. Like, that's not what these judges are supposed to do. They're supposed to rule on the law, not fight Trump. Either that or thinks the 2024 election was false. Murphy ultimately sided with the migrants Wednesday, ruling that DHS's third country removal policy is unlawful. The case is about whether the government may, without notice, deport a person to the wrong country or a country where he's likely to be persecuted. First of all, they do it and they notify them that just because they don't get a whole hearing, they can't claim like we can't go anywhere. It's like, holy fuck, they just want to do everything fucking possible to stop the fucking deportation of illegal aliens. That's it. SCOTUS needs to rein in these activist judges, but they won't. Or Congress, but neither will. Yeah. Yes. Libtards will try anything to stop Trump. Yeah. Arrest the judge. That's what Lincoln would do. Neither DOJ or the DHS or DOJ immediately responded to the Fox News request for comment. Of course they're going to appeal. DHS officials have previously claimed an undisputed authority to deport criminal aliens to third countries that have agreed to accept them. If these activist judges had their way, aliens who are so uniquely barbaric that their own countries won't take them back, including convicted murderers, child rapists, and drug traffickers, would walk free on American streets. I mean, that's basically what they want. Oh, their own country won't take them, so you're stuck with them. That's what they're basically saying. No. Clog up the system. We could just put them off to sea. Like, why not do that then? Okay, fine. No country will take you. You have to just get out. Wander the seas as a stateless pirate. I don't give a fuck. Get out. Yeah, it says the Supreme Court permitted the Trump administration to continue its deportation policy amid legal challenges. Yes, they said, no, you can keep doing it. The Biden administration created a national security nightmare through lax immigration enforcement. Biden eventually enacted a restrictive 2024 executive order that brought crossings down to 2020 levels. But that was like way after, like in the middle of the year, towards the end of the year, like right before, after he was already not running when Kamala was running. Trump campaigned on a promise of mass deportations to clear the backlog. His third country policy represents the front line of that effort aimed at deporting the worst of the worst to any nation willing to take them. Though a Biden-appointed judge now says the practice crosses a constitutional line. Yeah, send the boat to Cuba. Yeah, it's a circle. There you go. The Department of Homeland Security has adopted a policy where they may take people and drop them off in parts unknown. No, it's not. In so-called third countries, as long as the department doesn't already know that there's someone standing there waiting to shoot, that's fine, Murphy said. This guy should be put in jail. And he's clearly not a judge. He's clearly a partisan hack who's just there to do whatever to stop the Trump administration. That's it. Murphy also rejected the claim that certain migrants living in the U.S. illegally lack due process, noting that the clause applies to all persons within the U.S., regardless of immigration status. The due process is the fucking immigration hearing. That's it. These district judges don't have any jurisdiction over this at all. Look at this guy. These are our laws, and it's with profound gratitude for unbelievable luck of being born in the United States. Oh, yeah, it's just luck. This court affirms these are our nation's bedrock principle that no person in this country may be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The due process of law is the immigration courts. It's not a punishment to be deported. The Supreme Court has already said that. It's not a deprivation of life or liberty or property. They have no fucking property interest in the U.S. They have no liberty interest in the U.S. That's ridiculous. Murphy stayed the ruling from taking force for 15 days to allow the Trump administration time to appeal the case to the First Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals. Given the judge's acknowledgments was the importance of the unusual history of the case in question. Yeah. Bella seems slimming down a bit. That's great. What's that off-limits island in the Indian Ocean inhabited by cannibals? Send them there. Oh, that sounds like a plan. Put them all in Gitmo. That's still American soil. That would be a good idea. Let me fix Bella's camera because for some reason it seems she moved again. The camera all of a sudden made her bigger, which I don't understand. The ruling comes after Murphy presided for months over a class action lawsuit filed by migrants challenging deportations to third countries, including South Sudan and El Salvador, as well as Costa Rica and Guatemala, which the administration reportedly eyed an ongoing wave of deportations. He has sparred with the Trump administration while overseeing the case. Oh, is that what a judge is supposed to do? Spar with them? Or is he just supposed to rule on the facts? When he accused the administration of failing to comply with a court order requiring to keep in U.S. custody 6 migrants who were deported to South Sudan without due process or notice. They already had their due process. Holy fuck, this is a lie. How much process? They just have to keep going until they get what they want? When they go to court and the judge says, no, here's your final order of deportation, that is the due process. That's it. That's all they get. Murphy previously ordered that the migrants remain in the U.S. custody at a military base until each of them could be given a reasonable fear interview. Yeah, but then fucking the Supreme Court said no, they can go. Holy fuck. The judge's order in the latest attempt by federal judges to rein in the Trump administration. It's not the fucking court's job to do. Murphy previously acknowledged the criminals' histories in question after Trump blasted the individuals removed as the worst of the worst. The court recognizes the class members at issue here have criminal histories, but that does not change due process. They already had a final order of deportation. That's their fucking due process. Holy fuck, man. The court treats its obligations to these principles with seriousness. First of all, if you treated your obligations, you should have looked at the fucking law that says you have no jurisdiction in deportation cases. None. This is fucking ridiculous. This is worse than it was before they passed the law that stripped district courts of any subject matter jurisdiction in these cases. They have no jurisdiction. White House officials, meanwhile, have blasted so-called activist judges as attempting to enact a political agenda. Yes. Yeah, these district judges don't even respect SCOTUS. That's right, they don't. The Trump administration, for its part, succeeded in a separate Supreme Court case last year that narrowed the ability of federal courts to issue nationwide injunctions. Yeah, so then they just go, oh, we're going to a class action lawsuit. Really? How is the class equal? Why is that stuff not being honored? I don't know, man. Because there's a bunch of rhinos in this House and Senate that would turn on Trump if he didn't follow a court order, even if it was illegal. Like the Trump administration has no duty to follow an order that's not legal, that's not a valid order. If the judge has no jurisdiction to issue orders like Boasberg, but yet they're still playing around like, oh, it doesn't matter, even though the Supreme Court told them you have no fucking jurisdiction here. You have nothing to do with this case. You're not the correct court. He's still issuing orders, still fucking around, and nobody's walked in and arrested him. Somebody needs to walk in and arrest Boasberg. Like this idiot comment, like, welcome to the Twilight Zone. The U.S. has right to prevent these migrants from coming to the country, but once they're here, they have a right to hearing before what? Let's see what it says. Before what? Before being removed. I guess someone breaks in your house, they have a right to stay until the court. They already had hearings. This is the fucking lie. These people already had hearings. These people already had funds. Some of these people had final deportation orders from 2002. Here's CBS. Judge rules Trump administration policy is unlawful. Oh, is it? Oh, wow. A federal judge ruled that the policy that allows immigration authorities to deport migrants to third countries that's not their own without first giving them notice or opportunity is unlawful. They have been getting notice and opportunity. They skip due process on the way in. Why should they get any process on the way out? Like, what do they want? They want a full blown hearing. They get they get a review to see if they're going to face any type of death or like torture or anything. And if they don't, this is why they keep going to Massachusetts and Maryland and Portland, because all the fucking judges there are either Obama or Biden judges, like all of them. They pack these courts with them. That's why they keep going there. FBI raids the home of far-left Los Angeles Unified School District superintendent. The FBI executed a search warrant at the home of far-left Los Angeles Unified School District superintendent Alberto Carvajalo. Habeas hearing, not a federal judge with jury. Here's the thing, like the habeas hearing, they don't all get a habeas hearing. This is the fucking problem. Like, what? They just go, there has to be a reason. Like, here's the thing, this is what happened. There's not a habeas hearing. Like, the habeas would be like, oh, they're trying to deport me and I'm not the right person. Like, oh, though you went through all the steps and process. Like, so that's the thing. They want us to have every fucking illegal alien that gets ordered by the immigration court to be deported. There has to be a habeas hearing. No, that's not how it works. These judges need it. Yeah. The process due them is not a trial or lengthy hearing. It's like 3 questions. Yes, and they get it. Like, do you have any? The habeas hearing would be like if they're illegally being held. Like they're using habeas to circumvent the entire immigration law. That's what they're fucking doing. It's ridiculous. It's got to fucking stop. The FBI is executing a search warrant at the home of the superintendent of Los Angeles School District. FBI LA confirms they are currently executing search warrants at 2 addresses, with separate federal law enforcement source telling Fox they're at the home of the Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. LAUSD is the second biggest school district in the country. We are told the underlying affidavit in support of the search warrant is under seal, so it's unclear what potential wrongdoing he may be suspected of. They're searching the home. The searches are being conducted at his home and his office in downtown Los Angeles and another location in Miami tied to the investigation. So what is this guy doing? What's he up to? Lear Center our way to mansions in multiple industries. The affidavit's under seal. He's a LAUSD chief employee and has led one of the nation's largest schools since 2022. It's unclear what authorities are searching his home and office for. But I'm saying that is the only due process allowed. Are you an American citizen? No. Is the government in your home country trying to kill you? Oh, okay, bye. Yeah. But no, these are people that they don't have any claim that they're going to be persecuted in these other countries. That's the problem. It's like they're trying to say, oh no, they're just, so these people could just say like, no, I can't go there because I fear it. And you can, they say they can't go there. They're a fear. You can't send them anywhere. So then you just can't deport them anywhere because they have, he has a $6 million home in California and Florida. Yeah, because he's stealing all the money. They're stealing all my monies. See this. Allegations of corruption triggered the FBI search of the home and office of the LAUSD school district's superintendent. Oh, he has $6 million homes in California and Florida. 2.4 million, 1 million, 560, 576, 434, 1.6 million. Wish Trump would have said closed borders precipitously declined the fentanyl ODs. Like these reporters following these people around. This is like ridiculous. This is a little more. I don't like this. Like these cameras and following FBI agents like this. And is that the illegal alien? No, this is not the illegal alien school district. This is somebody in LA. This is the LA school district person. They're saying corruption. So maybe he was stealing money. Federal authorities are searching the home of Alberto Carvalho on allegations of corruption. The searches are being conducted at Carvalho's San Pedro home, his office in downtown Los Angeles, and another location in Miami tied to the investigation. A law enforcement source told the Post was triggered after allegations of corruption. We have been informed of the law enforcement activity and at the home of the superintendent. The district is cooperating with the investigation. We don't have further information at this time. He is also an illegal? Oh, is he? This guy's an illegal, 40-year illegal? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Crazy. Now, the investigation relates to white-collar activity. LASD employees look confused outside of headquarters, unsure if they were going to go to work. Federal agents were seen entering the building, would not comment for the reason of their visit when asked by a reporter. Carvalho is the chief employee and led the nation's largest. This says led one of the nation's largest school district. John Schaefer, 62, lives down the street from Carvalho's home in San Pedro and said he saw federal agents around 6 a.m. He said he saw at least 6 federal agents at the house in the pre-dawn raid, including a man in camel who pointed a rifle at the superintendent's house. Oh, man, oh, my God, he pointed a rifle at his house. Some of the agents wore jackets as the FBI. I looked back, there was a guy in camel with a rifle pointed at the house, and I'm like, this is really weird. One of the agents got a bullhorn and said the occupants of the house to stay inside. He saw the agents in jackets marked FBI remove at least one box from the house. He's been a good neighbor. Oh, but somebody dropped a dime on him. We have to let due process take its course. Raid. Oh, okay. I got a raid from Good Logic. Thank you, guys. For all the raiders here, welcome to the raid. We still have quite a bit to go to add an extra hour. We're still $60 away from adding an extra hour. Thank you, Good Logic, for raiding the stream. Night, Joe Peeps. Howdy, Jim Peeps. What's up? He's dead, Jim. Great to see you. Joe sent us. Awesome. Did Joe ever get his computer working? I tried to help him. I was in a closet back there. Oh, my God. Dog backwards. It's unclear why authorities are searching Carvalho's home and office. The progressive LA school boss has voiced his opposition to the federal government's immigration agenda in the past. Adam Zig, raid. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the raid. Thank you all for the rants and for the stuff. And just want to remind everybody that this show runs on your... he didn't get the second monitor working. Not really. Number 56. Thank you all. Please remember to hit the like button if you haven't already. Please hit the subscribe button. And please keep in mind that we got the timer says 15 minutes on the goal, but we're going to go a little longer. Raid, thank you, Mega Taz Bomb. These roaches love raid. Yes, they do. Omni, I don't know. Did he Windows update? I don't know. I don't know what he did. No, he dropped a camera on something that caused a problem. It's all working until he dropped his camera. Jim should have 100 likes by now. He should. I mean, we got over 200 people here. We got 250 people here. We should have 100 likes. It would be nice. It says 2 on my screen. Let me. Now it says 62. We can do much better than that, though. Definitely. So yeah, everybody who's just showed up from Joe's, the way the show works, we go for about 2.5 hours unless we hit the goal, and then we add an extra hour to the show. We're about $60 away, and that can come in by the form of super chats, Rumble rants, gifted memberships on YouTube or Rumble. There's links pinned in the chat for PayPal, Cash App, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and super tips. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor monitor. Raid, Electric Deb, great to see you. He needs to call one of those kids to come over and fix his computer. Okay, lol. So we got a little while to go. We'll see if we hit the goal. I was 49. Thank you. So the FBI raided the home of the superintendent of LA school district for some corruption stuff. In July, Carvalho slammed ICE agents for allegedly urinating on the grounds of a Pico Rivera school as the new level of despicable insult. Really? B-Sync says, I would set up Good Logic with a killer AV workflow if he wanted. I have produced streams professionally. Was he using a hammer to fix his audio? Yeah, I told him to use to follow the naval guide to electronic troubleshooting, and the first step is to agitate the equipment, to hit it with something, and seriously in the manual. Joe needs Grok India. Yes, he does. As soon as Jim hits 100 likes, I will shut up about it. But we have 250 people here. We could get 100 likes real easy. Yeah. So he said at a news conference that his students and families should be protected from immoral, unethical, and illegal actions. Despite the injustice, despite the fear, despite the pressure, our kids are soaring, Carvalho said. And for a second year in a row, these students have provided best-in-class achievements across all grade levels. I would like to see that. Yeah, percussive maintenance. Yes, it works. Oh, look at this. We got Let's Start a Rally. Thank you. With that 10, that means we are now just 50 away. We're only $50 away to adding an extra hour to the show. And for every 50 that comes in, we add an additional extra hour to the show is how it works here on Jim Tells You. Thank you so much. Oh, the dog is twitching. She's having some dreams. Sorry, a word, Ford wrench. Yes. Channel has enabled subscriber-only chat. Subscriber-only for 1 minute, B-Hops. Just 1 minute. It shouldn't be on YouTube. Subscriber only on YouTube. Camport 2 went down again. Did it? Joe still needs a new keyboard. Tell that to the students at Portland School where the protests are. Oh, wait, it closed. We called hitting electronics with a hammer a technical tap. Yes. You're saying, where does it say that channel has enabled subscriber only chat? You're saying on YouTube? Because it's just subscribe for 1 minute. That's it. 1 minute. That's all you got to be subscribed for 1 minute. That's just to keep the bots out. Rumble Glow, thank you. Caravello came to the United States as an undocumented immigrant himself and has been passionate about protecting students and ICE agents. Oh, so he is an illegal alien. So maybe they found out he's an illegal alien, working illegally. Space lasers. Took out Joe's monitor. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Resetting the cards. So they're investigating an illegal alien superintendent of the LA schools. LA students have recently protested ICE actions with teens walking out of school. So maybe there's something else going on. Maybe he's taking money from people for the protests. Maybe he's doing something else. School officials have said students are dealing with engaging with issues. So this is the guy, Alberto Carvalho. This is him. Oh. LA cops have taken a more disciplinarian stance on student walkouts. Student attendance is mandatory in the city of Los Angeles. There may be legal consequences for parents and students. It's unlawful for any minors that are 18 to be in public places, streets, or amusement spots during school hours. I wonder, channel has disabled subscriber-only chat. What is that going on? Where is that happening? You're talking that's in Rumble? I never put that in. Oh, so he did it on accident. He hit the wrong button. Oh, he did it. Okay. All right. I get it now. He accidentally did it. It's fixed. Okay. Students are dealing? Sounds illegal. Yeah, it could be. Water works well. Yeah. Resolder to ground. We need to arrest the people hiring illegals too. Yeah. 28 likes away from 100. Oh, I'm an admin. Yeah, looks like it. Wonder how that happened. That happened that one night. I think you wanted to do a raid. You were talking about doing a raid somewhere, and I said, "Go ahead." I gave you moderator powers to do a raid. So, yeah, Fox 11 just has it. It's a local news. Says FBI raids LA USD superintendent's home and office.
Breaking news at 5. FBI agents serve search warrants and raid the home and office of LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho, plus a third location in Miami. The basis for the searches still under seal. Welcome to the Fox 11 News at 5 simulcast on our sister station, Fox 11 Plus. I'm Christine Devine. As of tonight, the superintendent has not been arrested or charged. We have team coverage on this breaking story. Nick Garcia is live outside Carvalho's San Pedro home. But first, Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez joining us live from the district's downtown LA office. Christina.
Well, Christine, it's a chorus of no comment from the DOJ to the FBI to the district, the mayor, everybody saying this. But people inside telling me off camera that this does seem to target Carvalho, not the district as a whole. They were in his office here. And the district, of course, they're saying that they are cooperating. Here's what we can tell you. Warrants being served at the San Pedro home of LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho, as well as his office at the district's downtown office and a property associated with Carvalho just outside of Miami, where he served as school superintendent before coming to LA in 2022. LAUSD headquarters is surrounded by media, getting only statements saying the district is cooperating with the FBI, which is only saying that, quote, the affidavit in support of the warrants has been sealed by the court. So no official word as to what's behind targeting the superintendent of the second largest school district in the nation.
A federal corruption investigation, I'm going to use the word corruption because it's a public official, is very serious. But at this stage, we don't know enough.
But legal analyst Dimitri Gorin says the raids may not be just politically motivated.
You have a third-party independent magistrate who's made the determination that there is possible criminal evidence at both locations justifying the search and justifying sealing of the search warrant.
Carvalho is facing a lot of scrutiny. Just yesterday, the Department of Justice announced it's joining a federal lawsuit claiming the district and its superintendent of discriminating against white students with programs to help minorities. And there's also a lawsuit alleging the misuse of millions of dollars in taxpayer funds approved by voters to expand arts and music education.
Maybe he failed
specifically
to
not
maybe.
hiring new teachers as required by Proposition 28.
Yeah, it sounds like this guy is a illegal alien from somewhere. He's got homes. He's got 6 homes worth over $6 million, like $7 million in homes. One in Miami, one in Tampa, several in California. May not be politically motivated. Yeah, he's a crook. It sounds like he's a crook. He was stealing money, more than likely. That's what it sounds like. They caught him stealing money. Somebody turned him in. Why do all these news anchors seem to be foreigners now? I don't know. Cartel, maybe. Something.
And just prior to his hiring in L.A., Carvalho faced criticism from the Miami-Dade Public Schools Office of the Inspector General. And those allegations, well, the misuse of millions of dollars earmarked for drivers in special education.
So maybe
now,
it's from actions before he went there.
Is Carvalho's involvement in a $3 million LAUSD contract with a chat box company that ended up shutting down and is under investigation for things like wire fraud. So that could be what this situation is all about. We will not know until we get a comment from someone. Carvalho definitely not commenting, but again, he's not being right now detained anywhere or has been charged with anything as far as we know. And live in downtown Los Angeles, I'm Christina Gonzalez. Back to you, Christine.
Details right now are anyone's guess. All right, Christina, thanks so much. We do continue our coverage with Fox 11's Nick Garcia live in San Pedro, where Carvalho's home.
Money laundering? Probably.
This morning. Nick?
Yeah, Mrs. Spock, what's up?
All right, Christine, Carvalho's house right over there. And as Christina mentioned, no comment from him yet. We've been here all day and have not seen him or heard from him. People who live around here, though, tell me this is usually a pretty quiet neighborhood. Not the case this morning. Take a look. The San Pedro home of Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Alberto Carvalho raided by the FBI early Wednesday morning. Federal agents seen removing a suitcase and cardboard boxes from the house, but no word on the reason for the investigation, sparking curiosity among neighbors.
We'll find out, I guess. Hopefully there's some kind of announcement what goes on here.
The Department of Justice says agents were executing a judicially approved search warrant, but could not comment further because the affidavit was sealed by the court. One neighbor believes the raid was politically motivated since Carvalho has been a vocal critic of the Trump administration.
If he had any history of violence, he wouldn't be superintendent. Why are you pointing a rifle at some guy at 6 in the morning, going through there?
Schaefer says
wait a minute. Okay. So I guess that means that when they sent all those people to Roger Stone's house, who was never accused of any violence, with the SWAT teams and the fucking boats with the machine guns, and all the people went after Roger Stone, so that clearly they're admitting it was politically motivated because they went with guns. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, D? Oh, please, in California? Yeah. The guy's a joke. Yeah. Clearly, they say, California is the land of the fruits and nuts.
But is not sure who it was or if that person was taken into custody.
I met him a few times. He's sitting there, and they're going through all this hullabaloo.
Students from nearby San Pedro High School, just down the street, shocked just at the idea their superintendent could be at the center of a federal investigation.
It's surprising because it's somebody I least expected. You know, like I thought like superintendent's supposed to like lead by example.
I know that he's a really great guy. He's came down to our campus multiple times. I could have never suspected something like this to happen.
Now, San Pedro High School literally just down the street from his home here, so those students got permission from their teachers to come over here when they heard about all the commotion. Again, everyone waiting to hear from
that guy gets
Carvalho
the vote.
himself.
That's crazy.
We
right?
certainly will continue to follow this for you. But for now, live in San Pedro, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
So, Nick, a bit more on that neighbor who maybe saw a little more than perhaps when the media got there. Did he describe more of what that raid looked like?
Yeah, he said it was loud. He heard those sirens for at least 30 seconds. He was already awake at the time, but that's kind of what alerted him to go outside until he and other neighbors here were ordered to stay inside. So he didn't get eyes on exactly too much because they wanted the residents here to stay inside. That's why he's not sure exactly who was in the handcuffs.
All right, we'll continue to follow this one.
Someone teach that kid some grammar. Okay. So, yes, we're going to follow this one. We're going to follow this. We're going to watch because it's very. So, FBI has executed a search warrant at his home and office. A home in Miami is connected to Carvalho was also raided. Federal officials confirmed the warrants were judicially approved but have not yet disclosed the specific nature of the target investigation. He has yet to issue a response regarding the searches. Federal authorities descended on multiple Los Angeles locations Wednesday morning, executing search warrants at both the primary administrative offices of the nation's second largest school district and the private home of its top official. 30 whole seconds. Mandatory IQ test of all American senior high school students follows IQ SAT scores. Yes. Please hit the like button. Yes. I could probably start one with my DNA. I see you broke the chat. Maybe he did. I don't know. Is the chat all screwed up now after it went members only or whatever, subscribers only or something like that? Maybe. I don't know. It seems all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Am I blocked then? Lol, what are you talking about? What's going on? What do you mean? What is happening? The UFOs are not in Area 51. They're at Buckley Space Force Base. Heck says it's there now, going after Trump's CEO to release the files. Maybe. Could be. No, it's fixed? Okay. No, I see you. Okay. And neuro. No, I just deleted that one comment. All right. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. The headquarters and his home were raided. The FBI and Department of Justice both confirmed agents served court-authorized warrants at his home, at his office on the 24th floor and his home in San Pedro. Employees were evacuated from headquarters during the search, according to authorities, which is just, I don't see you. Okay. Let's see. All right.
Breaking news, Mario Ramirez standing by outside Alberto Carvalho's home.
Let's go to Mario right now. Mario, tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, Roxy and Sandra, we've been watching FBI agents coming in and out of the home here in San Pedro, carrying out, you may have seen it earlier, cardboard boxes. We saw one.
Oh my
FBI
God, not
agent,
cardboard boxes. I've lost control of the chat.
Suitcase of luggage is what it looked like. Another carrying.
Oh my God, they're moving in. They brought luggage.
What evidence is being collected here from this home, but we can tell you that the warrant was confirmed by federal officials. No affidavit details have been released because they have been sealed by the court, and the FBI said they have no further comment at this time. So photographer Howard Wells is taking you just down the sidewalk here as we wait for more activity, and you can see those federal agents. Now, according to sources, the warrant was executed this morning on both this residential address here on South Parker Street in San Pedro, as well as an office location where Gigi was at just a short time ago, LAUSD headquarters on South Beaudry Avenue downtown. At this point, those locations have been confirmed by federal officials as the sites where warrants have been served, but details about any arrest charges or investigations haven't been confirmed. The FBI telling us they are serving a court-authorized warrant warrant here, but because, again, the affidavit is sealed, they can't discuss any details of the investigation. And I want to break down, as we're watching more of these FBI agents coming out of Carvalho's home here in San Pedro, what we know about Carvalho. And we can tell you that he is the current superintendent of LA Unified School District, the second largest public school system in the U.S., serving more than 500,000 students across the county. And he was unanimously selected by the LAUSD Board of Education back in February of 2022, and that followed a national search. Now, we can tell you, before coming here to Los Angeles, he led Miami-Dade County Public Schools, one of the largest school systems in America, for 14 years, earning multiple national education leadership awards. And again, we have no confirmed information at this time that he's been charged with any crime.
Which one was it?
We've not received official statements from his office or the LAUSD board. And
even if someone accidentally erases your comment on YouTube, it still appears in StreamYard. So it was one of those. He says, don't worry, my comments are usually insignificant. So are mine. But which one was it? I want to know. Was it I don't see you either? Okay. And no, I just deleted the one below. Is it this one? Which one was it? This one here. Those were his pushers. Or Mar-a-Lago. Or laundering money would bring RICO charges. Or Mrs. Spock. Which one was it? Which one was deleted? Tell me which one. I need to know. I'd rather be erased. Yes. The evil spirits from Joe's broken ancient monitor have just escaped and come over here. I've seen Ghostbusters. That's crazy. Everything is cool. All right. Well, you did say 49. Okay. I don't know what that means. 49. Anyway, I want to let everybody know, even though it says on the YouTube that the goal has ended, all right, as long as, now he just retracted a message. As long as befuddled you are, as long as we hit the goal before I end the show, I will add the extra hour. But if we don't hit the goal when I end, I am going on another show tonight when I end here. So if you haven't gotten enough of Jim, I'm going on someone else's show. I'm going to raid that show when I end the show on YouTube. I don't think he does Rumble. Yes, I have all the deleted ones. Yeah. Beats me. So now they're just messing with me? Okay. So when I do end, I will be going on another show. It'll take me like a minute or two to get on, but I will be going on another show. So I will raid that show when I end here, just so everyone knows. All right? Just letting everybody know. If you haven't got your fill on Jim, you'll get some more Jim talking to someone else. But I don't know if he does a YouTube show. I mean, a Rumble show. So I don't know.
We're still looking for comment from the FBI Los Angeles field office, LAUSD, and Carvalho's representatives. So not a lot of information, but again, this is the scene unfolding outside his San Pedro home. So we've counted at least half a dozen FBI agents, again, going in and out of this location here, coming out with stacks of cardboard boxes, as well as bags and what appears to be a luggage or two of evidence. That's the latest here from what we can see on the ground in San Pedro for now. We'll go ahead and send it back to you.
It looks like a quiet morning in the sense that I'm not seeing people out and about or any neighbors. What are you seeing as far as the neighborhood's concerned?
Yeah, you know, it is interesting, Araxia, because I did talk to one neighbor as we're still seeing some FBI agents coming out of the home. I talked to a neighbor right next door. They didn't really know what was going on, only seeing what we were showing you here, the FBI agents coming in and out. And we can tell you that it is a very quiet neighborhood other than this activity that we're seeing here. We pulled up and really didn't think there were any agents, no official vehicles here with any signage. And again, they're not releasing any details, but let's see. Is any comment that you all can give us about what's happening?
Can't give any comment right now. You can contact the main FBI.
No comment. Contact the main FBI office.
All right. So yeah, so there's that. They're doing that. And then and then this is just K10 News in LA says FBI serving search warrants at the school districts. So there's that. And then this news, which I like to talk about because we were talking about Cuba earlier with the people getting killed in a boat by the Cubans. So then the U.S. eases the Cuban oil embargo but demands dramatic change. It looks like he last streamed on Rumble 5 months ago. Well, he's live right now, so I don't know. Maybe he doesn't go on Rumble. We could always do, if we could go like whoever else is on Rumble, Neuro, whoever else is on Rumble live right now, if like Third Railify or any of those people, or Frog, what is a Cool Frog or whatever, or Portland Andy or anybody is, we can do them. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want. It's up to you, Neuro. Whatever you want to do. FBI merch. Yeah, let's sell FBI merch. So, so the U.S. is going to ease the oil embargo, but demands dramatic change. So the United States on Wednesday eased an oil embargo on Cuba, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the communist-run island must change dramatically, saying it had only itself to blame for the economic crisis. We're only 5 away from 100 likes. So let's get it done. Rubio, a Cuban-American and lifelong critic of Havana's government, heard concerns that the island's economic tumult could destabilize the whole region as he attended a Caribbean Community Summit. Attending the talks on the tiny island nation of St. Kitts and Nevis, is it Nevis or Nevis? I think it's Nevis. Rubio staunchly defended the January 3rd U.S. attack that deposed Venezuela's communist leader, Nicolas Maduro. Those people. I see how it is, Jim. I said any of those people, not those people like that. But I said you choose. It's up to you. The United States swiftly then blocked Venezuela from exporting oil to Cuba, which had relied on its ally for nearly half its need, triggering fuel shortages and rolling blackouts on the island. The Treasury Department announced Wednesday that the United States would allow Venezuelan oil exports to Cuba's private sector for both commercial and humanitarian use. Rubio warned that the sanctions would snap back if the oil winds up going to the government or military, which dominate the communist nation's economy. But Cuba needs to change. It needs to change dramatically because it's the only chance it has to improve the quality of life for its people. It is a system that's in collapse, and they need to make dramatic reforms. And I do want to say that even though I said I'm going to go on someone else's show and say that, whatever, when we end, which I don't know, it could be 15 minutes, it could be 20 minutes, it could be 5, whatever. But if we hit the goal, we would add another hour. At any point in time, if we hit the goal, we add another hour to this show. But whatever. If you don't, whatever, it's up to you guys. You guys decide how long the show goes. If they make those dramatic reforms that open the space for both economic and eventually political freedom for both the people of Cuba, obviously the United States would love to see that and would be helpful. What did the guys going through the rubbish bins pay for their hoodies? I think they get them for free from the FBI. So Cuba didn't go green then. Yeah, why doesn't Cuba use like all the green energy if it works and it's cheaper? Why aren't they using it? It's just a little tiny island. They should be able to just throw just 2 more likes, people. Come on. We need to get to 200 likes. Rubio described the crisis in Cuba as potentially worse than at any point since Fidel Castro's 1959 revolution, but said that the authorities only had themselves to blame. Rubio spoke as Cuba announced it had killed 4 people on a speedboat registered in Florida. Killed 4 people, shot 6 more on a speedboat with Florida registration. Rubio said the United States was still studying the unusual incident and would respond, but said he had little verified information. Caribbean leaders warned that any future deterioration in Cuba would impact the region and trigger migration. Humanitarian suffering serves no one. Jamaican me crazy Prime Minister Andrew Holness said a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain confined to Cuba. Canada, which has long broken with its sovereign southern neighbor by maintaining warm relations with Havana, announced Canadian $8 million in aid for Cuba, which has experienced rolling blackouts and fuel shortages. Well, Canada can always sell Cuba oil if it wants. If it wants. Actually injured 6 more. I don't know if they blew a small speedboat up with 10 people on it. It seems like this was a boat that was taking people from Cuba to Florida, like people trying to defect or leave Cuba, and it got attacked by the Cuban border guards and intercepted. Like it was a boat that went there, picked people up, and was leaving. 10 people on a 24-foot boat is a lot of people. A lot of people on a 24-foot boat. A lot. Just saying. Hooray, we hit 100 likes. Yeah, we don't know. There could have been more than 10 people on it if it says that they injured 6 and killed 4. Maybe there was 20 people on it. I don't know. The Caribbean summit host, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Terrence Drew, studied in Cuba to be a doctor and said friends have told him of food scarcity and garbage strewn in the streets. A destabilized Cuba will destabilize all of us. I don't think so. What are you talking about? Without apology on Venezuela. Addressing the summit, Rubio staunchly defended the deadly operation that seized Maduro, saying that Venezuela has made substantial progress since then. I will tell you this without any apology or without any apprehension. Venezuela is better off today than it was 8 weeks ago. Rubio said he believed Venezuela had moved to a new phase and that there was a need for fair democratic elections, although he did not lay out a timetable. The United States once championed Venezuela's democratic opposition, but since removing Maduro, it has worked with interim President Delcy Rodriguez, who was Maduro's deputy. Maybe, what was the size of the minnow? I don't know. We'll sit right back and we'll hear a tale of a faithful trip with Gilligan, the skipper, to the millionaire and his wife, the Professor and Mary Ann, all on Gilligan's Island. Trump has voiced satisfaction with Rodriguez, including her welcome to the U.S. oil companies, and has threatened her with violence if she doesn't do his bidding. Yes, there will be blood. Rubio separately met at the summit with beleaguered Haiti's Prime Minister Alex Didier Fils-Aimé. So Didier, so he's a Diddy boy. Transition Council set up nearly 2 years ago handed power to Fils-Aimé this month with U.S. support after it failed to tackle rampant gang violence or hold elections. You forgot Ginger and the Professor. I forgot Ginger and the Professor and... Yeah. But is it Ginger and the Professor and missed the movies and the movie star? Yeah, you're right. What was Mary Ann? Was the other one, right? Or what was her name? I don't know. St. Kitts and Nevis, a tiny former British colony reliant on beach tourism that was the birthplace of a U.S. founding father, Alexander Hamilton. It was a 37 to 38-foot 1964 Wheeler Express cruiser, specifically a Wheeler Playmate. A 38-foot boat is a decent-sized boat. You know, it's not a huge boat, but it's a decent-sized boat that you can go out on the open ocean with, no problem. You could have problems if it's rough seas, but in calm seas, it's, yeah, Mary Ann, the Professor, and the movie star. And this is U.S. makes limited exception to Cuba energy embargo. So we saw that. So that's good, right? All right. Now we got this story. Wow, this story. Look at this. The Texas Senate primary becomes the most expensive in U.S. history as spending tops 110 millions. Texas set a national record for the most expensive Senate primary in U.S. history, with spending exceeding 110 million. Republicans dominate the spending at 88 millions. Cool Frog has been off streaming all week. Is he okay? Is everything all right? Republicans dominate with 88 million, largely focused on incumbent John Corman as President Trump prepares a high-profile visit to the state Friday. A late surge is driving the cost, with nearly half of all campaign funds being spent in the final weeks leading up to the March 3rd vote. The Texas Senate primary is now the most expensive in U.S. history, at $110 million being spent on advertising. So that's just on. Joey has a nightcap going with the good panel. All right, we'll do that then. According to whatever this is, Ad Impact, the $110.5 million is around $1 million more than the amount spent during the Arizona 2022 Senate primary. What are they paying for? It looks like ad time. Hey, looking for Richard Parker. I don't know. I haven't seen him in the chat. I think he's mad at me or something, because when I was in Joe's chat, he told me, I said, before Cynic came on, I didn't know. It seemed like Cynic wasn't going to be there. And I just said in the chat, I said, hey, Joe, if Cynic doesn't make it and you want me to join you, just let me know. And then Richard got on mad. No, not Jim. We don't want Jim. So I was like, I didn't mean Jim as FBI, just that the attire of the rubbish bin crew was a bit off. Wayne? I don't know. Around 70% of the spending and reservations in the races have come from outside groups, the ad tracking company said. So Cornyn has spent $64 million, and Cornyn's going to get, and then Wesley Hunt spent 11.4. Ken Paxton has only spent 3.6 million. Wow, I wanted Ken Paxton to win. I don't know why. Although Wesley Hunt would be good too. Marco Polo. Democratic ad support. Talarico, 17.6 million. Jasmine Slavy Crockett, 4.3 million. Good to see you, Hetty. Yeah, outside groups account for 70% of the spending. So why is it? Why? Who is spending? What outside groups are spending all this money on Cornyn? Only 3.6 million on anti-Cornyn. That's crazy. Cornyn sucks. Cornyn's the reason we have all these shitty gun laws, this new shitty red flag federal laws. Majority of the money is coming in on the Republican side. Well, it's not federal red flag, but they gave grants to all the states to impose red flag laws. Wayne is a good guy. Who's Wayne? Talking about like Richard Parker? Is that who you're looking for? Is his name Wayne? I don't know. Chat has me really confused tonight. A majority of that money is coming from the Republican side, where $64 million is spent on incumbent John Cornyn, while his opponents, Wesley Hunt and Attorney General Paxton, have seen $11.4 million and $3.6 million respectively. Another $5.4 million has been spent on anti-Hunt ads, while $3.6 million has been spent on anti-Paxton ads. In a total, $88 million has been spent on advertising on the Republican side. Paxton's got to go. Bruce Wayne? You talking about Batman? I'm Batman. Trump in Texas on to expect to visit the Lone Star State. Who's ever hands, he's greased. I hope Paxton wins, but I'm afraid Cornyn will get back in. Yeah. Yes, he was mad, but he's not anymore. Cecil is on for now. Hothead. Okay. Democrat spending trails Republicans. Spending on the Democrat side pales in comparison, with around $26 million being spent on the race. A majority of that money is coming from State Rep James Talrico. On Wednesday, Ad Impact said Talrico reached $21 million compared to $4.5 million from Jasmine Slavy Crockett. Secret police are kidnapping people off our streets. We're not supposed to be afraid of our government. Talrico is up with a new ad. Yeah. Fuck this guy. Final weeks of Senate primary see a surge in spending. $48 million will be spent on political advertising when the dust settles on the final month. Advertising for Cornyn will land around $18 million for between February and March 3rd. Paxton is up on Cornyn by a lot last time I looked. So I'm saying, like, I don't know how much advertising Paxton needs. John Wayne was very handsome when he was very young. Oh, yeah. Marion Wayne. Very good Polish man. The numbers show that the majority of Democratic spending is also in the final weeks. So let's see. It's RNC equals Cornyn, DNC equals Talrico money. Yeah, just saying. Yeah. Texas outpaces Senate primary spending record ahead of March 3rd election. Yeah, so they're saying it could be the most expensive if the spending keeps going in that way. AP just says the hotly contested Texas Senate race is setting spending records ahead of Tuesday's primary. And look, they all show this fucking asshole, Talrico. What's up, Spuds? Great to see you. Just saying. Why do they all show him? Like, this is like free advertising for him. They just keep putting his picture. Partly fueled by Talrico's fundraising and allies of John Cornyn. So they just Talrico, even though Talrico barely outspent Wesley Hunt. It's like, it's crazy. Talrico faces U.S. Rep. Jasmine Slavy Crockett for the Democrat nomination. It attacks the Trump administration's aggressive immigration enforcement tactics, describing U.S. immigration and customs enforcement as secret police. I don't think that's going to go over well in Texas. I have never watched DS9. I was saving for days like this. Season 1, episode 9 yesterday. Sorry, I didn't know the show was that bad. Talrico, they give that boy an AK and call him Kyle. Yeah. Oh, Jet. Yeah. So, all right, and here we go. Next story. Kamala Harris refuses to rule out another White House run. I haven't decided. What do you guys think about that? I don't know why I jumped to that story. I was trying to end this, but then former vice president left the door open Monday when asked if she considered another run at the White House. Everybody here wants to know the answer. Will you run again? Which I haven't decided. Cats, dogs, how many times a day do you say I told you so? Best way to make eggs. It's very quick, not really lightning around with. You're still thinking about it, the host press. I might not. Do we want to listen to her talk with her rambling bullshit? Harris announced just last night she would not seek the governorship of her home. Prior to her announcement, Harris was widely believed in contemplating three options for her political future: a 2026 gubernatorial run, seeking the presidency in 28, or remaining on the sidelines following her blowout in 2024 at the hands of Donald Trump. Easy win for Vance. Yeah. DS9 is my second favorite behind the original series. I hope she runs. Yes. In other news, has there been any word on the condition of former President Biden reportedly diagnosed with terminal stage 4 pancreatic cancers weeks after he left office? Yeah, it's weird, right? Like they basically, because I guess they, maybe the double, like the body double that was pretending to be Biden all that time in office wanted too much money to keep it going. Maybe that's the case. Let's see here. Chat. Let's see here. Rants. That says, according to Bronca, Rashida Tlaib's parents never had a green card. Well, if that's the case, then she ain't a U.S. citizen. She got to go. Thank you for the dollar. With that, we are now $49 away from adding an extra hour to the show. Thank you so much. I don't know. I'm trying to hold out to see if we're going to make it. Trying to hold out to see if we're going to make it. Harris and California Governor Gavin Newsom are the top Democrat contenders in the hypothetical nationwide primary, with the ex-VP getting 28% support and the term limited governor receiving 20.7% backing. McMahon noted that she was not surprised by Harris's answer, indicating she got the impression from her memoir, 107 Days, that the former vice president wants another shot at the White House. I closed the book and I'm like, oh, she wants to, she's just thinking about it. Harris maintained that's not what she wanted readers to take away from it. No, the book about the specific period of time, she said, there was no agenda beyond it we've discussed already, which was just sharing with people. And she was hopeful to see some things themselves. The Girl Scout troop, when it comes time for them to read it, might see themselves in it and know what they could do. Yeah, they too could make up stories and lie in order to try to become president. If she really wanted to be president, she probably should have just, told the truth about Biden's dementia. That would have been the right way to go. All right, now we got this story. All right. A Chinese official's use of ChatGPT accidentally revealed a global intimidation operation. Why in the world would no one just pitch in $2 until it gets us to the goal? Talk about a run-on sentence. Eesh. Yes. Snarf. A sprawling Chinese influence operation accidentally revealed by a Chinese law enforcement official's use of ChatGPT focused on intimidating Chinese dissidents abroad, including by impersonating U.S. immigration officials, according to a new report from ChatGPT maker OpenAI. The Chinese law enforcement official used ChatGPT like a diary to document the alleged covert campaign of suppression, OpenAI said. In one instance, Chinese operators allegedly disguised themselves as U.S. immigration officials to warn a U.S.-based Chinese dissident that their public statements had supposedly broke the law, according to ChatGPT user. In another case, they described an effort to use forged documents from a U.S. county court to try to get a Chinese dissident's social media account taken down. What? So they're breaking the law, they're forging documents? Whoever did that, clearly they're in the U.S. if they're trying to get fake documents and send them to somebody. Arrest them. The report offers one of the most vivid examples yet of how authoritarian regimes can use AI tools to document their censorship efforts. The influence operation appeared to involve hundreds of Chinese operators and thousands of fake online accounts on various social media platforms, according to OpenAI. So OpenAI is tracking everybody and what they're typing in, obviously. It keeps track of everybody and what you question and query and what you type in, clearly. This is what the Chinese modern transnational repression looks like, says Ben Nemo, principal investigator at OpenAI. It's not just digital. It's not just about trolling. It's industrialized. It's about to hit critics of the CCP with everything, everywhere, all at once. CNN has requested comment on a report from the Chinese embassy in Washington. ChatGPT served as a journal for the Chinese operative to keep track of the covert network. While much of the network's content was generated by other tools and spread through social media accounts and websites, OpenAI banned the user after discovering the activity. Well, that was stupid. They should have kept track of it. Read the big names. Look at that sleeping doggy. Yeah, she's sleeping. OpenAI investigators were able to match descriptions from the ChatGPT user with real-world online activity and impact. The user described an effort to fake the death of a Chinese dissident by creating a phony obituary and photos of a gravestone and posting them online. False rumors of a dissident's death did indeed surface in 2023, according to a Chinese language Voice of America article. In another case, ChatGPT user asked AI agent to draw up a multi-part plan to denigrate the incoming Japanese Prime Minister, Sanae Takanichi, as part of a fanning online anger about U.S. tariffs on Japanese goods. ChatGPT refused to respond to the prompt, according to OpenAI, but in late October, as Takaichi took power, hashtag emerged on a popular forum for Japanese graphic artists attacking her and complaining about U.S. tariffs, according to OpenAI. Rant. Let's see. So this says, according to, let's go. No nonsense here. I mean, rant. I know. I got you. Mm-hmm. And with that, we are now $47 away from adding an extra hour to the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I listened to Debussy to sleep. Okay. The report comes amid a battle between the U.S. and China for supremacy over AI. At stake is how technology is used on the battlefield and a boardroom as the world's two biggest economies. The Pentagon is in a standoff with another prominent AI company, Anthropic, over its use of its AI model. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has given Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei a Friday deadline to comply with demands to peel back safeguards on its AI model or risk losing a lucrative Pentagon contract. Another rant, Spuds is trying. Okay. And then Spuds goes, even it up. Thank you so much, Spuds. So that means we are now $45 away, just $45 away from adding an extra hour to the show. We're almost at an extra hour as it is. Seemed like it. Thank you so much. Yes, and wasn't she gay? I don't know. Maybe. Claire de Luna. The report from OpenAI clearly demonstrates the way that China is actively employing AI tools to enhance information operations. Michael Horowitz, a former Pentagon official focusing on emerging technologies, told CNN. If someone donated 1,000, that would be hard to do, 10 additional hours. Got to get the YouTubers to pitch in. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people on YouTube. There's over 200 people there. You know, whatever. It is what it is, man. U.S.-China AI competition is continuing to intensify. Says Horowitz, who's now a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. This competition is not just taking place at the frontier, but it's how China's government is planning and implementing the day-to-day of their surveillance and information apparatus. So, all right. Virginia Woolf. Yeah, I know. Well. 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 I think that's going to be it for tonight. Another rant. Oh, wait. $20 from John Mosley. Thank you so much. Wow. So that makes we are now $25 away. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it says another rant. Let's see. And then a little more. Brain socks for 2. That means we are now $23 away from adding an extra hour to the show. Thank you so much. Poe is Scary, Path of Exile. Thank you so much, John Mosley, for the 20. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you, Brain Socks, for the $2. All right. I was just getting ready to end the show, too. So now I'm waiting. Oh, and then Brian Oldenkamp comes in with 20. So now we are just $3 away, from adding an extra hour to the show. So I guess I'm going to have to stay and wait for the $3 to come in because I named a corgi after Poe. Thank you, Brian Oldenkamp. Thank you so much for the 20. I'm going to sit here and wait. I'm going to put a timer on the $3 if it comes in. Oh, crap. That was wrong. What I just did there. Let's see. Another rant. I got that one. So I guess, what did I do? Did I just, oh my God. I just realized something. What is going on? What is happening? Oh, here we go. All right, we hit the goal. I couldn't get into my thing. Here we go. Goal $4.99 for Fletcher Boyd. Thank you.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Wow, with that, we got, let's see, $5, $10, $14 came in. Thank you so much. So that means we are now $14. So that's 11. So that means we are $89 away from a second additional hour of the show. All right. I will save that and show that. Put that there. Oh my God, you call him Edgar. 12 over. Actually, we're more than 12 over because it's 20, 10, 14. It was $3, so we're 11 over. Thank you all so much. And then Life is Indifferent comes in with the 3. So that means, so thank you. Thank you. So on a rant. Why is it not giving me the option to share this tab? I'm not sharing anything. I just realized that. Yay, we can't let the communists win. I'm just realized I'm not sharing anything. Oh, so here, I'll share this. I didn't realize. So yeah, so there's a, here's your 3. So that means now we are $86 away from a second hour. I will reset the clock. I will reset. I gave up reading. Thanks, everybody. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, look at that. We only got 20 minutes left in the extra hour. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Let me fix it in YouTube and redo this. Oh, and it says we got a John Mosley, right? That's John Mosley. So let me do this, and I'll start another goal. 20 super chats for 1 hour. And we'll do this and this and this. No. We are currently $86 away. There we go. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Energy is still too expensive. Trump 2028. As I didn't read, of course, I can't see. Thanks to everyone. I'm so proud of you all. Mostly Edgar. I only use my dog's middle name when I'm mad at him. Did I see the Coen Brothers Lady Killers? Yeah, that's the one with Tom Hanks, right? I think so. All right. I don't hear because there's no sound. There's no sound coming out of me right now? What? No sound coming through here for me? What? All right. So here, we'll share this tab. Do this. It says U.S. slaps fresh sanctions on Iran on eve of Geneva talks. Hezbollah draws red lines. The United States on Wednesday announced a new round of sanctions targeting Iran's oil trade and weapons networks, intensifying what Washington calls a maximum pressure campaign, even as Iranian negotiators traveled to Geneva for high-stakes nuclear talks. The U.S. Treasury Department said the measures targeted more than 30 individuals, entities, and vessels accused of facilitating illicit Iranian Oops, it was my Bluetooth. Okay. Well, that happens. Illicit Iranian petroleum sales and the shadow fleet. Iran exploits financial systems to sell illicit oil and launder the proceeds, procure components for its nuclear and conventional weapons programs, and support its terrorist proxies. It says a goal for 30 minutes instead of an hour. I changed it to an hour, didn't I? Oh, don't worry, I'll fix it. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I swore I switched it from 30 minutes to an hour. I guess I don't know. A sanctions move comes ahead of a third round of Oman-mediated negotiations between Washington and Tehran, scheduled for Thursday in Geneva, aimed at resolving the long-running dispute over Iran's nuclear activities. Despite the mounting pressure, Iranian President Mahmoud Peshkira struck a hopeful tone, expressing confidence in diplomacy. We see a favorable outlook in negotiations, and we are pursuing talks under the guidance of the Supreme Leader. 2 hours? Woohoo, what do you mean? Joe traumatized you with the screen thing. Enjoy the extra hour. I got to go to bed. Got a long day tomorrow. Well, thanks. Life is different. That's awesome. U.S. President Trump, however, reiterated his hardline stance, warning that Iran would never be allowed to develop nuclear weapons. In his latest address, Trump accused Tehran of harboring sinister nuclear ambitions and claimed Iran was developing missiles capable of eventually striking the United States. Assertions dismissed by Iran as big lies. Dog backward, 89 octane was $238 before the loyalty discounted convenience store close to my house. All right, let's see this here. Where are we at? I want to close this. Wow. It's been damn it. There we go. All right, that's it. All right, got it. The diplomatic push unfolds amid heightening military sailing. Washington has expanded its naval presence in the Middle East, and Iran has conducted fresh military drills. Everything will be all right. It will. Adding to the regional tensions, a Hezbollah official told the AFP that Lebanese movement would not intervene militarily in the event of a limited U.S. strikes on Iran, though direct targeting of Iran's supreme leader would cross a red line. Lebanese authorities fear a wider escalation could trigger a chain reaction, with one official warning a very horrible and unpredictable consequence should conflict spread. Hezbollah remained on the sidelines during last year's brief Israeli-Iran war, but officials caution that continued hostilities could test that restraint. Well, they don't have the... Yeah, if their nuclear program is peaceful, why do they need the missiles? It's strange, isn't it? It doesn't make no sense. Inside Iran's calculus, why Tehran sees concessions are as riskier than war. Iran's leadership appears to be making a stark strategic calculation that yielding to Washington's demand could pose a greater risk to the regime's survival than dangers of military confrontation. Here's the thing. If we go to war with Iran, that leadership is done. So I don't understand them. I don't. They said an analyst familiar with Iranian decision-making has reported that Tehran's resistance reflects not miscalculation, but deeply entrenched belief that core elements of its deterrence posture are not negotiable. And that the heart of the standoff is a widening gap in threat perception. While Washington has framed its demands, including zero enrichment of nuclear material and constraints on the ballistic missiles, as non-proliferation safeguards, Tehran views such concessions as existential risks. For Iran's leadership, enrichment and missile capability are not bargaining chips. They are pillars of regime security. Oh, well, I guess that means you're going to have to get blowed up. Iranian officials have long argued that uranium enrichment represents a sovereign right. Oh, so they have a sovereign right to a nuclear weapon, I guess. Oh, well, we'll have to see. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. Mm-hmm. We shall see what happens. Mm-hmm. Even without weaponization, threshold nuclear capacity alters the balance of power, says a regional security analyst. It creates a deterrence through ambiguity. Oh, well, I guess then they got to go. Tehran's ballistic missile program plays a similar central role. With an aging Air Force and decades of restricted access to advanced platforms, Iran has relied heavily on missile development as a substitute for conventional air power, an assessment frequently highlighted in international security discussions. Missiles are Iran's most credible deterrent tool, says Farzi Nadmi, a defense analyst specializing in Iran's military capabilities. They compensate for structural weakness in air power. They don't have any air power. They have missiles. We need to stop pretending with Iran. Just let Israel, Saudi march in and get it over with. A few people are now singing about Ophelia. Coincidence? I don't know. Moby Dick. The nuclear program, though officially civilian, is also widely seen as carrying deterrent value. Because it's not civilian. You don't enrich to 80, 90%. You don't do that for civilian purposes. Mastery of an enrichment cycle gives Tehran latent leverage. The latent capacity itself shapes adversary calculations. From Tehran's perspective, Tehran, dismantling these capabilities would strip away critical layers of defense. Analysts cited by the New York Times suggest that Iran's leadership fears that accepting U.S. demands would not guarantee sanctions relief, but could invite further pressure. They don't believe capitulation ends the confrontation. They believe it deepens vulnerabilities. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. Listen, this strategic mindset helps explain why visible economic strain and domestic unrest have not translated into greater flexibility. Despite internal pressures, Tehran's leadership, Tehran, I don't know how it's pronounced, convinced the retreating on enrichment and missile policy could destabilize elite cohesion and undermine ideological legitimacy. Yes. Yeah, it's been over 4 decades of shady dealings and dick wagging. Time to get it over with. Definitely. Nuclear reactors only need 5 to 10%. Over 20% is obviously working on weapons. Yes, come on, people, smash the like button for Jim. That's right. Iran does have the QA to make a useful weapon. A regime built on resistance cannot easily justify strategic surrender. U.S. and Iranian negotiators are expected to meet in Geneva on Thursday amid reports of a narrowly tailored proposal permitting highly restricted nuclear activity for medical purposes, a framework widely seen as potentially face-saving mechanism. Yet prospects for compromise remain uncertain. The New York Times has noted that the regime's survival concerns dominate Tehran's calculation, while U.S. officials insist enrichment limits are central to any agreement. Military realities further complicate the equation. I prefer to focusing on cleaning up our own house. Sure. American carrier groups, combat aircraft, and missile defenses remain positioned across the region, underscoring Washington's readiness to escalate if diplomacy fails. But analysts caution that coercive pressure does not always produce predictable political outcomes. For Iran's leadership, the logic is deterrence preservation. In that framework, endurance may appear to be riskier than concession. Well, I guess so. So I wanted to cover this story, this article written by Alexander Muse. It says, crime stats. The demon rats and their willing accomplices in academia and the drive-by media relentlessly repeat the lie that illegal aliens commit fewer crimes than citizens. Every LLM repeats it. The claim is complete BS. Illegal aliens commit more crime. The data Democrats are hiding. Public debate over immigration and crime often proceeds as if its one empirical claim has been decisively settled. We have been in Iran fucking them up from the inside. Yes. Yeah, for a long time. We are told with confidence and repetition that illegal immigrants commit crime at lower rates than American citizens. The claim is treated as a conversation stopper. Once uttered, it is meant to end an inquiry. If the data shows lower rates, then immigration enforcement is unnecessary, even unjust. Yet this posture assumes something that has not been demonstrated. It assumes that the data measure what they purport to measure. When all crimes committed by illegal aliens are counted, including immigration offenses, crimes obscured by deportation, and offenses suppressed by systematic unreporting, the rate of criminality attributed to illegal immigrants far exceeds that of citizens. The apparent lower rate is not a discovery about behavior. It's a byproduct of selective counting. Yeah, American citizens didn't break in the country for starters. Yeah, prison populations would say differently. Policymakers are trained to ask a simple question before accepting any statistical claim. What exactly is being counted? Consider an analogy. Suppose a hospital wishes to know whether a new medication reduces heart attacks. It counts the number of patients currently in cardiac wards. If, however, a substantial number of patients who suffer heart attacks are immediately transferred to another facility and removed from the hospital census, then a snapshot of current ward occupancy will systematically undercount the true incidence. The hospital will report success, but the apparent success will be an artifact of removal, not a reduction in harm. Almost all immigration and crime literature relies on an analogous snapshot. The most widely cited studies use incarceration data from the census or American Community Survey. They ask who is in prison at a given moment and then compare incarceration rates across native-born citizens and non-citizens. But incarceration is a stock measure, not a flow measure. It tells us who is physically present in custody at the time of the survey. It does not tell us who committed crimes and then was removed from the country. This matters because deportation is not a marginal phenomenon. It is central to the structure of immigration enforcement. In fiscal year 2024, ICE enforcement and removal operations removed 271,484 non-citizens. Of these, 88,763 had criminal histories, averaging 4.63 charges or convictions per individual. 5.63 charges or convictions per individuals. Yes. California is pardoning criminals by illegals to usurp ICE removal. Yes, they pardoned somebody. Gavin Newsom pardoned somebody for attempted murder to keep them from getting deported by ICE. That's insane. That's insane. The prior year saw 69,902 criminal removals. A Government Accountability Office report examining fiscal year 2011 through 2016 found that roughly 95% of criminal aliens who completed federal prison sentences were subsequently deported. Once removed, they are no longer in the U.S. population. They do not appear in subsequent incarceration snapshots. They have, statistically speaking, vanished. One might object that this is simply how criminal justice works. Prisons count who's in prison. Deportation is a separate matter. Yet the objection concedes the point. If the research question concerns criminality within a population, then a methodology that excludes a substantial subset of the convicted offenders because they have been physically removed will understate their contribution to crime within the population. Repeat offenders. Native-born offenders remain within the sampling frame after release. Removed offenders do not. Federal sentencing structures amplify this asymmetry. In fiscal year 2024, non-citizens received average federal sentences of 26 months, compared to 69 months for U.S. citizens. Part of this disparity reflects the early disposition or fast-track program, which grants 13.4% of non-citizen cases an average of a 43% sentence reduction in exchange for prompt guilty pleas and acceptance of removal orders. The Department of Justice Criminal Resource Manual explicitly provides for stipulated deportation as a condition of plea agreements, including sentencing departures for defendants who concede deportability. In practical terms, the pipeline moves quickly. Conviction, shortened sentence, removal. The stock measure of incarceration rarely captures the full trajectory. Yes. Maryland man was a party to a murder in his home country. Trump wants to engage our allies to get her done. Statistics are fun. Yes, and none of them was Ilhan Omar. That's crazy. Even scholars frequently cited for lower rate conclusion acknowledge the limitation. Butcher and Pale noted that deportation may reduce institutionalization because removed immigrants are no longer in the U.S. to be institutionalized. Alex Nowarer of the Cato Institute has conceded that those incarcerated do not represent the total number of immigrants who can be deported under current law, nor the complete number of convicted immigrant criminals. When annual criminal deportations rival or exceed the number of incarcerated non-citizens in a federal prison at a given time, the omission is not trivial. A second distortion arises from underreporting. We talk about this all the time. Crime statistics rely on two primary sources: official police reports and victimization surveys. Both presuppose reporting. If a crime is not reported, it is invisible to the data. Empirical research indicates that undocumented immigrants are substantially less likely to report crime due to fear of immigration consequences. A University of Illinois at Chicago survey found that 70% of undocumented residents were less likely to report victimization because of status concerns. A probability-based UC San Diego study found that when local law enforcement cooperated with ICE, respondents were 60.8% less likely to report witness crimes and 42.9% less likely to report their own victimization. A 2020 study exploiting the 1986 RICA amnesty estimated baseline reporting rates among undocumented immigrants at 11 to 17%, nearly tripling to 37% after legalization. Yeah, they just might need ICE. Yes. And then they sneak back into our country. Fun, 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 till our daddy takes the T-bird away. Fun, fun, fun. The logic is straightforward. If a population underreports crime, official statistics will reflect fewer recorded offenses, even if underlying victimization is higher. Indeed, an NBER study using restricted NCVS data and 911 records found that after Secure Communities implementation, Hispanics were 30% less likely to report crimes to police when victimization increased by 16%. Reported crime rates did not change. The reporting decline masked the increase. The National Crime Victimization Survey is often invoked as a corrective, yet it began collecting citizenship data only in 2017 and does not ask directly about undocumented status. Its immigrant sample is smaller than the ACS benchmark. Research indicates that respondents with ambiguous citizenship status exhibit characteristics consistent with the undocumented population and experience higher victimization. Moreover, the most fearful undocumented individuals may be least likely to respond to surveyors at all, creating selection biases. Federal data further complicate the lower rate narrative. Non-citizens comprise 34.7% of all individuals sentenced in the federal system. Listen to that. Non-citizens comprise 34.7% of all individuals sentenced in the federal system. So almost 35% of all the people sentenced in the federal system were not citizens. Does that make up, do they make up 35% of the population, non-citizens? I don't think so. I think they're about 7 times more likely. Yeah, right here. Roughly 5 times their 7% share of the U.S. population. Non-citizens are vastly overrepresented in federal drug trafficking cases. In 2018, non-citizens accounted for 41% of all powder cocaine trafficking convictions, 20% of all methamphetamine trafficking convictions. As of March 2025, 14.7% of the Federal Bureau of Prisons population consisted of non-citizens, double their population share. So here's the question is, why are they only 14% or 15% of the prison population if they accounted for 35% of individuals sentenced? Oh, that's because they reduce their sentence and then they kick them out of the country. It is important to note that the federal system handles only 5 to 10% of the U.S. criminal cases. Only 5 to 10%. Most of the prosecutions occur at the state level where citizenship data is never collected comprehensively. Nonetheless, federal patterns reveal that in certain categories, particularly immigration and drug trafficking, non-citizens are disproportionately represented. The honest argument does not claim overrepresentation in every category. It observes overrepresentation where it is documented. The Texas data, often cited as the gold standard, warrant scrutiny. Texas is one of only 2 states that collect immigration status at arrest. yet status is initially based on self-reporting. Few illegal immigrants arrested for crimes have an incentive to admit unlawful presence. When fingerprints are sent to DHS, identification is delayed and not included in the data sets that researchers rely on to make their claims. That's why when we go over the illegal alien crimes here, and we cover it extensively usually, it always says, oh, it took weeks after this person was arrested to find out they were a legal alien. So that's why it's not reported in the police reports, and it doesn't make it into the data, and they use that to obscure that there's illegal aliens committing a vast disproportionate amount of crime in the U.S. An informal tracking in Nashville and Memphis of crime reported daily in the media versus what's reported officially shows a disparity. If I had the resources, I would track it nationally. Yeah. Texas DPS acknowledges that foreign nationals who entered illegally and avoided detection by DHS are later arrested will not have a DHS response regarding lawful status and thus do not appear in their counts. From 2011 to 2026, they provided DPS information on more than 34,000 individuals identified as illegal while incarcerated, of whom 11,000 were not identified through secure communities at arrest. Researchers knowingly rely on this intake identification undercount to make their false claims. So look at that. So 34,000, 11,000 they didn't know about, so that's like a third. Poor Amy Coney Barrett looks so ashamed at the State of the Union. Well, she should be. She should be really ashamed. Really. She should be. Researchers knowingly rely on this intake identification to make their claims. When prison-identified undocumented immigrants are added to arrest data, the 2015 homicide conviction rate for undocumented immigrants in Texas was calculated at 20% higher than the state average compared to 8% lower using intake data. So look at that. So they say, oh, it's 8% lower, but it's actually 20% higher. So illegal aliens commit murders at a 20% higher rate than the state average. That's crazy. Methodological choices alter conclusions. Finally, there is a definitional point. By definition, every illegal alien has committed at least one federal offense, unlawful entry, or reentry after removal. Studies claiming lower crime rates exclude these offenses, yet immigration offenses constitute 30% of all federal criminal cases. At their pre-pandemic peak, immigration prosecutions comprised 60% of all federal district court cases. Wow. In 2019 alone, 106,000 individuals were prosecuted for illegal entry and reentry combined. In practice, federal prosecutors often streamline cases involving illegal aliens by securing guilty pleas to immigration charges while dismissing or declining to pursue associated drug or gun counts, particularly where defendants agreed to expedited removal after completion of a shortened sentence. See? But they exclude all that data and say, oh, it wasn't there. Yeah, diversity is our strength, Mark. I don't think so. Such plea structures simplify adjudication, conserve prosecutorial resources, and accelerate deportation. But they also reclassify conduct that might otherwise appear in drug or firearm statistics into the immigration column. The downstream effect is statistical displacement. Serious underlying criminal conduct is absorbed into immigration case totals, and then followed by removal, reducing its visibility in conventional crime rate comparisons. Nearly 90% of the increase in immigrant prosecutions between 1990 and 2018 consisted of immigrant-related offenses, and non-citizens accounted for 64% of all federal arrests in 2018. You see that? 64% of all federal arrests were illegal aliens. The broader lesson is methodological. When deportation removes convicted offenders from the sampling frame, when plea agreements accelerate removal and remove other criminal offenses from the records, when underreporting suppresses recorded victimization, when state data relies on self-reporting and delayed identification, and when the largest category of federal prosecutions is excluded by design, the resulting statistics cannot be treated as dispositive. Oh, he's dead, Jim says. Gotta run. Later, peeps. They may suggest patterns. They do not suggest settle the question. The Texas data relied on by researchers to claim that illegal aliens commit 8% fewer murders than citizens when cross-referenced with DHS immigrant identification data and prison levels show the opposite conclusion. Illegal aliens commit 20% more murders than citizens. That's not a small number, 20%. That's not a small number. Public policy should not rest on a statistical mirage. A responsible approach would incorporate flow measures of arrests and convictions, adjust for deportation, account for underreporting, and include immigration offenses in transparent ways. Yet it's not accidental that so many prominent studies declined to do so. Researchers continue to rely on incomplete intake data, snapshot incarceration measures, and exclusion of immigration offenses are not merely making technical mistakes. They are advancing a policy preference. These people are all purposely skewing the data that they know is screwed up just so they can claim that immigrants are our greatest strength. The lower rate narrative functions as an intellectual shield for arguments in favor of amnesty and normalization. Yes, they want normalization of unlawful presence. Democrats, demon rats, and their willing accomplices in academia and drive-by media have a strong incentive to portray illegal aliens as socially benign, particularly when legalization would add millions of new voters who are likely to be politically dependent on the coalition that delivered their statuses. Until these incentives are acknowledged, and until the full universe of offenses is counted transparently, any claim that illegal aliens commit fewer crimes than citizens should be rejected and ridiculed. Definitely. Rejected and ridiculed. By Alexander Muse. Yes. Great work by him, by the way. Great work. Great work. Let me see. I got some other bookmarks to talk about tonight. Look at this. Trump's transportation secretary says on CNN that demon rats just blew it on easy issues when they refused to stand up and voters noticed. Jim, I like you. Sunshine, I'm not leaving. The other Jim is. Me too. I wish Doge would release raw numbers on crime. Yes, me too. Definitely. Doge should tear into it. Jake Tapper has no rebuttal as Sean Duffy handed demon rats a beating for a minute straight. Let's listen to it. All right. Let's listen to it. I don't want to read it. Let's listen to it.
You have states that are issuing driver's licenses to illegals who haven't been trained to drive a 80,000-pound truck on an American road. We have a little girl that is had a life impacted for the rest of her life, and she's 5 years old, and it was an illegal who hit her. I think the question becomes, why doesn't every Democrat stand up and go, no, we want well-qualified drivers on American roads? That's not partisan. We don't want illegals who can't speak the language, contrary to American law for decades, to not be on American roads. I think those are easy issues, Jake, and I don't think we saw Democrats stand up and support them. We got some applause for the U.S. Olympic hockey team, but that was probably one of the only bipartisan moments of the night, which I think is too bad. Again, if inflation's down, Democrats should applaud it. If real incomes are up, Democrats should applaud it. Those are good things that we should support as Americans. And just because Donald Trump's in office doesn't mean you have to sit on your hands. You should applaud that because that's good for America. You have states that are...
Definitely. I agree. All right. Let's see what else we have here. More trans violence. Oh, this is crazy. All right. They're automatically registered to vote with a driver's license. Yes. Blue Zeke Dali, who identifies as trans, was arrested in New Hampshire for allegedly opening fire on Border Patrol agents after being stopped near the Canadian border. Daly reportedly tried to flee and crash into a snowbank where law enforcement made the arrest. Daly is now charged with attempted murder of a federal officer and assault on a federal officer. Let's see. Wow. This is crazy. More trans violence.
We were forced to break this story late on Sunday night, and it's been tough to get information. It's really been piecemeal. But now we know that this suspect is from Manchester. A 26-year-old from Manchester is in the hospital tonight after allegedly exchanging fire with Border Patrol in Pittsburgh early Sunday morning. According to an affidavit filed this afternoon, Blue Zeke Daly, who is also known as Cullen Zeke Daly, fired shots at an agent who then returned fire and shot Daly. The FBI says that Daly had been stopped in Stewartstown by the agent who asked whether Daly used other names. Daly then immediately drove away. Investigators say that officer followed Daly, and when Daly approached the U.S.-Canada border, Daly tried to drive off and started shooting. The officer then returned fire, according to the affidavit, before Daly lost control and ended up in a snowbank. Officers found a handgun and ammunition and is facing several charges, including attempted murder of a federal officer. The FBI is now leading this investigation alongside the U.S. Attorney in New Hampshire. Now, both of these charges carry up to 20 years in prison, respectively, and fines of up to $250,000. In Manchester, Ariel Metropolis, WMUR, News 9.
Wow. That's crazy, right? That's just crazy, isn't it? Now, here we go. Scott Jennings reveals Demon Rat Congressman Ro Khanna was bringing a woman to the State of the Union claiming she was a Jeffrey Epstein victim. In reality, this woman worked with Jeffrey Epstein to recruit girls. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Even CNN reported it. The woman got paid $200 per girl she brought to Epstein. Haley Robeson was, in fact, someone who worked with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, let's hear him say it, all right? Let's hear Scott Jennings say it. He talks better than me.
And then there's the curious case of California Congressman Ro Khanna. You've probably seen him on TV, one of the people who has agitated most often for the release of the Epstein files and making some wild and erroneous claims along the way. Well, he is bringing to the speech tonight someone connected to the Epstein files story. Let's hear from Ro Khanna about that person in Cut 12.
Haley Robeson just wants justice. That's why I'm inviting her as my guest tomorrow at the State of the Union. She'll be speaking not just for herself, but for the thousands of survivors.
You heard the name there, Haley Robeson. Now, Ro Khanna says she is speaking for the survivors. But is she? The files show something completely different, that Haley Robeson was, in fact, someone who worked with Jeffrey Epstein to recruit young women to the island. According to CNN's reporting, and I'm just going to read it to you, quote, Robeson told police she remembered bringing 6 girls to Epstein and told authorities she was like a Heidi Fleiss, the Hollywood madam who ran a high-class prostitution ring. Robeson provided police with the names of some of the girls she had brought to Epstein's house. She gave the officers the cell phone numbers for 4 of them and told police she wanted to assist the investigation in hopes of receiving lesser charges for herself. Here's more from CBS News. I'll just read it to you, and I quote, Haley Robeson received $200 payments each time she escorted a new masseuse to Epstein's home, according to the police reports. Robeson targeted girls from the rural area outside Palm Beach, where she grew up, because Epstein believed they were less likely to complain to authorities. Here again, Robeson likened herself to the so-called Hollywood madam Heidi Fleiss in an interview with Palm Beach police. And Epstein, she said, once admonished her for bringing a 23-year-old recruit to his home because she was told, the younger, the better. So of all the possible people that Congressman Ro Khanna could bring to the speech tonight to highlight the Epstein issue, this is who he chooses. This latest Epstein fiasco with Ro Khanna comes after he outed 4 innocent men on the House floor by name, whose names appeared in some files, but who had, it turns out, done nothing wrong. He claimed they were perpetrators, and in fact, they were just random people. Seems like Ro Khanna has lost the plot here when it comes to Epstein. Seems that in his fervor to smear President Trump, he's actually doing a great disservice to the truth on an important.
Wow. Wow, what do you think about that?
And then there's the curious case.
That's crazy. So the Portland Antifa rioter who started and led the frog riot costumes is a far-left extremist who encourages anti-government terrorist attacks. Representative Dexter, he was arrested in Portland outside ICE by Portland police last month. Yeah, because that's this person. So this person brought these frog people. We saw this last night. Here's the Democrat counter event is these Antifa frog people.
I'm a mother. I am a physician, and I have a flag.
And I have a flag.
And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you, thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade. together.
With the Portland Frog Brigade. What do you know? So she's hanging out with Antifa. She should be investigated for terrorist. Yeah, for being a terrorist. That's what she should be investigated for. Watching the Demon Rats refuse to stand for Irina Zaruska's parents, who were seated 15 feet away, may have been the single most radicalizing moment of my life. I could not believe it. I still can't. I can't wrap my head around it. This is ridiculous.
Arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget there were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zaretsky, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
It's crazy. That's where people are saying Trump misspoke there. Because he said open borders when it wasn't open borders. And look at this. Breaking news. FBI Director Kash Patel just fired 10 deep state agents involved in seizing the phone records of Kash Patel and now White House Chief of Staff Stuvie Wiles before Trump began his second term. So FBI agents seized Kash Patel's phone records and Trump's Chief of Staff right before he took office. What the fuck? They should be in jail. What right did they have to take phone records of any of these people? This doesn't make any sense. This should not, these people shouldn't have been fired. They should be in prison.
FBI Director Kash Patel out with an allegation that the prior FBI obtained his phone records, and not only his. What can you tell us about that?
Right, this has been breaking in the last hour or so. We are told that, according to Kash Patel, the FBI director, the prior bureau leadership obtained his phone records and phone records to current White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles back in 2022 and 2023. This eventually led into the Jack Smith special counsel investigation into then former President Donald Trump. We're told that some of these records are just toll records, which don't have specific information other than times and dates. They don't have the actual content of calls, but two sources in the FBI say that Susie Wiles' attorney agreed to be recorded by FBI agents in 2023. She did not agree. We've reached out to her for comment. FBI Director Patel, in a statement to Fox News, calls this outrageous and deeply disturbing. And I will add, Brett, that we are told at least 10 Bureau employees have been fired just today over this incident, with more potentially to come. Brett?
Okay, we'll continue to...
Wait, so Susie Wiles' lawyer agreed to be recorded, so agreed to wear a wire is what they're talking about, to tape people. And then, same shit as term one when Obama and Comey were in charge. Absolutely. And so Susie Wiles, they tried, because obviously Susie Wiles in 2023 was talking to Trump and working with Trump when Trump was running. And so they tried to get her to wear a wire, and she said no. So she must have told Trump that, right? That they came to me and get me to wear a wire? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is fucking nuts. This is knuckin' futz. Who gave the orders to do it? It's not like 10 people get together over a beer and decide to do this. Somebody told them to do it, and someone else in DOJ provided them the means. Yeah, it's not just these idiots sitting around. This has got to be, newly released footage shows Julie Egler, the transgender teen murderer who murdered her mom and her mom's boyfriend in 2024, talking about how she was angry with her mom for misgendering her before she confessed to the crime. So yeah, remember the crazy person that went and killed just that other person? The attorney should be disbarred. Yes, definitely. Remember that case in I think it was Rhode Island, right? Of the father guy who was, the bodybuilder transgender woman who was better at being a woman than the wife, and when he said all this stuff, who the day before he went on the killing spree said that you keep threatening doing stuff to us, and you wonder why we go berserk or whatever. But this is just nuts, man.
Now, as the interview continues, Julia describes frequent arguments with her mother, Kelly McCullum, particularly about her gender identity. And she tells detectives that she felt misgendered at home. And she says that the issue was brought up repeatedly during fights.
Well, me and her would have a lot of arguments about things, especially over like me being trans. So she'd be like, "Okay, you're not a real boy," and blah blah blah, and all, you know, the whole spiel of transphobic stuff. Okay. But
She doesn't approve of your lifestyle. She doesn't approve of that.
would you say she was like trying to kind of meet me in the middle, but it wasn't really working all that well all the time. She would try to call me child instead of, because it's more like gender neutral rather than kind of meeting in the middle, I guess.
Okay. So, I could tell obviously this frustrated you. Is this a root of a lot of the arguments? Or does it maybe not the root, or ends up being brought up in these arguments?
It's a thing that was brought up a lot in arguments.
Is she misgendering you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can murder people for
arguing
misgendering you. Okay, that's I guess
calling you she.
I guess this is what they mean. I guess this is what they mean when, like, the lieutenant governor of Minnesota wears the shirt with the knife, saying, you know, protect trans kids with the knife and the rose and the gun and all this stuff. And so this is what they mean. If you misgender us, we'll murder you. If you don't agree with our delusions, we'll murder you. Why? What? What? This is crazy. This is crazy. The ringleaders are Comey and Brennan, and their boss is Obama. Yes. Fletcher Boy says, I don't have kids, nor do I have regrets. Yeah, it's like, what's your effing problem? Yes. This can't be real. Oh, this is real. This real. This bee's real.
Or not using the appropriate pronouns, or not referring to you as Jasper and referring you as Julia.
Wow. Yeah, so that's what they do. It's a violent mental illness. The trans flag is just a giant red flag. Yeah, I agree. I can't breathe. Google has apologized. Oh, you got, after an AI-generated news alert about the BAFTA Film Awards racial slur incident included the N-word. Yeah, can you believe this? It's crazy. Like this. So Google apologized after AI news alert. But look at this. This is nuts, right? And then it's like, this is what how Tourette's fallout unfolded at the BAFTA. The Hollywood Reporter Seymour on. This is nuts. But this actually happened, right? That's crazy, isn't it? Don't you think that? I mean, what is Cynic over there writing the copy for Google? Cynic must be writing the copy for Google. Cynic and Joe. Jasper. It's crazy. Oh, these losers. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Run. The AI is out of control. Bro with the Tourette's walking out of the BAFTA. Yeah. Yeah. And he's, yeah. I sent this to my sister. My sister showed it to my mom. Mom read it out loud in the store. I made mom read it, forgetting she reads things out loud. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. To understand the hysteria around Epstein, you need to understand the curious case of Virginia Giuffre. Robeson's obvious involvement recruiting for Epstein is not something she wanted public. She was forced into this position when Giuffre realized, after making $140,000 for her false claim against Prince Andrew and $500,000 for twisting the events around Epstein, that she could turn her relationship with him into a multi-million-dollar extortion racket. This wouldn't have been possible without the lawyers who earned 40%, the demon rats who discreetly assisted by adding new temporary laws in New York, Julie Brown and her big story before retirement in hopes of taking down Trump, and reviving the failing newspaper she worked for, and the Dem media who amplified whatever narrative the DNC wanted. Virginia Giuffre was never told the truth. Virginia Giuffre has never told the truth. She has changed her story so many times it's hard to track down which version of events she first claimed, and up to the moment of death lied endlessly. Remember when she claimed she was hit by a bus? Complete lie. The bus driver, the parents of the kids on the bus, and the local police all discredited her claims and stated the bus just took out her taillight, and all parties left the scene without calling the cops. The bus went on and dropped off the kids safely. People naturally want to believe victims, so even some of those who now understand Robson was no survivor, rather a predator, would still be unable to understand this reality for now. Read the thread below and begin research and go deeper. She knew Robson made money providing girls for Jeff and wanted to do the same. She advised she rode over and sat in the kitchen area with Robson to wait for Blank and advised that while they waited, the house chef prepared lunch for them. It was almost lunchtime. If Robson ever told that he was expected of her when she provided a massage, Robson told her the massage would be expected, possibly naked and possibly some touching, and has no formal training in providing massage. Spoke about a third and last time she went to Jeff's house. Robson drove another girl who was Blank's friend to Jeff's house, stated that she knew that Robson had made money providing girls for Jeff, and she wanted to do the same. Robson took them into the kitchen of the house and introduced Blank to Sarah. Robson and Sarah took Blank upstairs to the main bedroom. And then they received $100 from Robson for going with her to Jeff's house and recommended Blank was unable to remember Blank telephone when an interview concluded. So this was who Virginia Giuffre is. She went there, and then here, every sensational claim Virginia made after 2011 when she started being paid either contradicts her own earlier statements, court records, witness testimony, or is an outright fabricated with zero corroborating evidence. Prince Andrew and the initial public story. In 2011 Daily Mail article, they paid $40,000 and $80,000, $40,000 plus $80 for a photo, met Andrew socially at Ghislaine's house, danced at Tramp, photo taken, no claim of sex. Explicitly said Ghislaine and Epstein left them alone and Andrew later left. Lie, later embellishment, sex claims, 3 occasions. Only added after payment and when seeking more money in a book deal. Trim reads like a Dale Carnegie alum. Book deal and naming names, emails. In May 2011, an email to Sharon Churcher, the Daily Mail journalist who paid her, just wondering if you have any information. I wanted to put the names of some of these assholes, say pedos, that GE sent to me. Churcher replied, suggesting Dershowitz, no proof, just we all think he's a pedo. Virginia had not previously accused Dershowitz or Andrew of sex. The sworn affidavit reunited with her father at 14, Mar-a-Lago job months later. Lie, she turned 17 shortly after starting at Mar-a-Lago in 2000. She was born in August 83. Claims she was held captive by Epstein for 4 years as a sex slave, raped and trafficked to a prime minister, prominent U.S. politicians, and celebrities. Lie, maximum possible contact was 2 years. Met 2000, final contact September 22, 2002 when she left for Thailand. No evidence of trafficking to any of those people. Ex-boyfriends, direct contradictions while she claims captive. Philip Goyderon, head bitch. She recruited 9 to 10 girls for Epstein, walked out smiling with $4,000 cash, bought clothes, drove Epstein's Mercedes, never looked like she was being held captive. Crystal Figueroa, Virginia asked her for slutty girls to send to Epstein. Virginia's not dead, changed my mind. Anthony Valadares lived with her 2001. She bragged about going to a millionaire's house for a day or two and returning with cash. In May 2011, email to Sharon Churcher. Just wondering if you have any information. I wanted to put the names of some of those assholes. I mean, pedos. Churcher replied, Dershowitz, told the press and Netflix Filthy Rich first met Epstein at 15. In a memoir, she spent her sweet 16th birthday on Epstein's Island, Little St. Jeff's. Lie, she hadn't even met Epstein yet. She claimed she was homeless, living on the streets, running away, engaged in prostitution to fund her drug habits. Lie, records show she temporarily fostered families when not with her boyfriends. Memoir in 2015. At 13, 1997, she was abducted by a 65-year-old trafficker, Rod Eppinger, and sold to Charlie. FBI raid while naked in bed with Charlie. Lie, no records of any Charlie, no mention of Virginia in FBI records. Her Aunt Carol, with whom she stayed close, confirmed Virginia never mentioned this until after accusing Prince Andrew. Ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend accounts contradict the timeline. In 1998, alleged 2 teens, Josh and Kevin, raped her for up to 7 hours after she passed out. Lied. Both men testified under oath it was consensual threesome. Detective notes her mother told police of daughter's past drug abuse. Prosecutors declined charges, citing victims' lack of credibility. Audio? What do you mean? You can't hear me? Under oath, a 2016 deposition. Mar-a-Lago 2000 was her first job ever as a teenager. Lie, she had multiple prior jobs, including during the period she claims to have been Epstein's captive sex slave. Also worked at Roadhouse Grill, accused of stealing $200. First meeting with Epstein. Multiple versions. Father drove her, butler answered, father not allowed inside. Ghislaine answered door. Ghislaine led her upstairs, stripped and joined in sexual massage. You hear me fine? Carnegie Foundation built a lot of libraries. Sorry, it's me. In Daily Mail, a $40,000 story. Another woman, not Ghislaine, let her upstairs. Ghislaine not involved in any sexual activity. At the Maxwell deposition, Virginia was driven by her mother. Maxwell was outside speaking to the mother the entire time Virginia was in the house. Impossible for the described sexual encounter to have happened. Virginia presented herself as a professional masseuse. I mean, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. And yet this is who all this is built on. These people, like some of them, I don't know, but I'm sorry, but you have to have the whole thing when you make these claims like this that are based on your credibility. You have to be credible. You have to be. Like Jeffrey Epstein's a scumbag. I mean, clearly. But you can't just put the word out and then let every crazy person to come in with crazy stories and then have people, especially these scumbags in the media, start feeding them names to give when they have no fucking idea. That person who gave her the name should get sued by Dershowitz. Well, everybody, with that, we hit the extra hour. It's been 3 hours and 40 minutes the show's been going, so I added more than an extra hour. I added an extra hour and 10 minutes over the extra 30 minutes I added on the hour, or the 2 hours, I mean. So we have almost 4 hours we went. Believe all women. I am going to go on another show. I'm going to go on Pat Dixon's show to talk about stuff, news and stuff. So I'm going to forward everybody over there. I will jump on there in about 5 minutes. I just got to pee, and then I will jump on Pat's show. I want to thank everybody who's here. I will be on tomorrow night with Joe at 10 p.m., I believe, or 10:30 with Joe, me and Joe. I will stream on this channel and Joe's channel. And then Friday, I will be myself streaming on Friday night. Our Eye on Crack. No, I don't smoke crack. Crack is whack. We just say no to drugs. But yes, let's tell everybody. I will right quick make sure that I will make sure that that he is still streaming before I send everybody over there. Looks like he's still live. Looks like he's still live. So we will go over there. And with that, I want to thank everybody who's here and remind you all to come on back if you want Jim to tell you the news. No on Joe? Well, no, but tonight I'll be on with Pat after this. So tomorrow I'll be on with Joe. We'll see you guys. Thank you and have a great night.